Welcome back, all you beautiful people of Hexco. It's been a while. I'm glad these guys still want to hang out with me. So, yeah, it's been about 5 episodes since I've been on one of these bad boys. Brand's been holding on the fort. What a reliable guy. Honestly, literally the top of everyone's comment section all the time. Beautiful thing. Hey, Flames, what's up? Weber Wellebert. What's up, dude? Rude Gang is here. Bentley Hex, what's going on? All about the hacks. Hello. Yeah, we're holding down the fort right now, waiting for a few more people to come in. Mark and Belly, good to see you as usual. Guess who got the first like? Probably you, Black Label Expert, Miss Exquisite. What's up, fam?
Black Label Expat.
Expat.
Someone else said that same thing today too.
Yeah, that's why we keep running around. Hey, Pepe La Montagna. What's up, Pepe? Ramon Carrillo, Hex, Reconnect. Jazz, let's go. What's up? Hex can sweat. Hello. It's great to see all you people. We're trickling in here. Hopefully, some other people can join us. And Brandon, have you heard anything from the boys?
No, I sometimes I'll routinely take a little nap before, but no, I didn't see anything. I know. Let's see, what's his face? Motley said that he kind of got stuck in customs, so he's not going to be able to make it. But I know Wave 3. He's usually pretty good about being able to make stuff, but this is also like the first week that we're doing it on a Wednesday, so maybe he's just kind of got to acclimate a little bit. But yeah, let me send a message to the chat and just see if any of these other lovely pipsqueaks can join us.
Everyone's a pipsqueak compared to Brand.
Sure. I don't know why I thought that word was so funny back in the day, but it just kind of stuck with me. And being like the youngest of 3 older brothers, it'd be like, just one of those things that like makes no sense when the youngest is calling it to the oldest, but was just still like my own little,
bow. Are your brothers are they bigger than you, or are you the biggest one?
No. I mean, yeah, they're definitely like we're all like the same like height wise, but like, let's see, probably 2 of my brothers could definitely kick my ass, and then maybe me and the oldest, we might be able to like fight down to the death type deal. But yeah, all pretty like, we did a lot of like sports and football and stuff like that growing up and whatnot. But yeah, there's a couple right now that could definitely they're in a little bit better shape, and they could definitely put a whooping on for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think you can whoop my ass, but BMA says I think Brand can party as hard as coffee. Well, I think we did party. We definitely did party as hard. Like, we partied pretty hard in Vegas. Element Hex says, hello, fellow Hexkins. Changing my account name, Weber. Sorry, my pronunciation sucks. My bad, dude. Inviting Freedom. Hello. How are you, Inviting Freedom? Good to see you. Pablo Lava, what is going on? Coffee and Brand, great to see everyone. Win Pulse Testnet. Ash, I believe if you want to run the Pulse testnet, it'll be out in probably a week or so. The problem is they have to download all of the transactions and like sync the blockchain or whatever on their private test nodes. And I don't know how many of you guys out there have tried actually downloading a blockchain to your computer, but it can take like a week. It can take a week to download it. It's a really slow, really shitty database that takes up a lot of space too. So you need to not only host it on a private server like a VPS, or you can host it publicly if you have a lot of storage. But it takes a lot of time to sync the blockchain, and you need to sync. At least one node has to have the full blockchain before you can start going. So maybe you can append it or what do you call that when you only take like a fraction of a blockchain? I don't know. You can only sync like a partial blockchain if you want to, but I think they want to do it right. So my guess would be a week.
Yeah, I know Richard had talked about that was going to be something that they were initially going to do, was like have iterations of the test net and just say, screw it, we're going to set up what we have right now. But same thing with the EIP 1559 and some sort of like Richard had mentioned recently, like some mainstream like Geth work that they all kind of decided to implement all of it at once and then release it kind of as like the full network state itself. So as opposed to like going a couple of years back or like not syncing all of the blockchain, they are going to sync all of it and then just be a little bit slower in the release. So you're definitely right, dude. I've when I was big in 2017 into a couple different cryptos, I ran like my own node, and dude,
Yeah.
it's slow. It's a lot of data, like you mentioned, and it's arduous process for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks balls, one might say. Ash said, yeah, that's a
Totally,
lot for sure. Piston, what's up? Mass Bro Fact, what up, bro? Esteban, what's up, dude? Chad, Donner Schwans, what's up? Henry, greetings from Florida, greetings from Chicago. BMA says, contemplating cruising with the Crypto Sparbook tour from San Diego to Seattle. Yeah, they hit me up and they wanted to make a pit stop in Chicago, so I told them, yeah, for sure. We can definitely film some content, and I feel like they're going to make a really cool video kind of montage out of the whole thing. And I was going to talk to a couple of guys to try to talk about how to keep it interesting, so we're not just looking at pictures of you driving, like, we need to make it interesting, right? So I think there's a lot of potential there for a very, very good documentary about.
Yeah, for anyone. For real quick, for anyone that like you mentioned, Chicago, so Alan and Patrick, Crypto Sparbook, Hexline, they're going to be doing like a little tour within the states and whatnot. But the point is now they've got a telegram of like a Hex meetup type thing, and I saved the photo for later, so maybe I could show it a little bit later. But it shows like the states or the cities, I guess, and then the dates. And so I think the one for Seattle was like October 3rd, October 4th, something like that. So really looking forward to whatever, like, because Seattle is really like general, like it's a big city. Yeah. But really looking forward to like whatever part that we reside in and hang out in. And I was telling someone else too, like Vegas was cool. It really was. I liked meeting you and stuff like that and everyone else. But like I've always kind of been more of like a one-on-one, or at least like a small group of people. You can kind of get to know people just a little bit better, in my opinion, as opposed to just like meeting a whole bunch of different people and just saying hi and goodbye in the same sentence. So yeah, it'll be really cool to say what's up to those guys.
Hell freaking yeah. Dagron wants to know, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I would say, probably a lot of fucking wood, dude. How much wood? Maybe like at least a couple of T-shares worth of wood. I mean, if you could chuck wood. Piston says, driving Miss Daisy or a badass tour, LOL. Can we put the whole regulation talk to rest by replacing the entire federal government with brand coffee and Molly? Could it be worse than what we have now? Yeah, except we might get assassinated, bro.
Dude, Biffness, he always has the greatest ideas, man. I remember one time I got a clip of it. I don't think it's on my channel, but I got a clip. And anyways, yeah, he's got some cool ideas. He was saying like Brand should become like the main tattoo artist for Hexicans and just start tattooing. It's like, dude, my stick figures look like they're retarded, like, anyways. So I don't know how well the Hex tattoos would go down. I guess geometry symbols are a little bit easier than people. But Bitfinesse, I love you, man. Hope we can stream sometime soon. You're a great guy.
Yeah, come on the stream, dude. Come on, man. What are you waiting for? 5555 pounds. I don't know what I would be. What would I be if I ran the world? I'd want to be behind the scenes. I wouldn't want to be the figurehead, right? Because if you're the figurehead, that's a dangerous position to be in. But luckily, in the good old U.S. of A., both presidents, both parties are, just a scapegoat. They're not the real figurehead. They're the figurehead, but they're not really pulling the strings. And we don't need to go there. It's a crypto show. Esteban,
sorry. I'll watch like Richard's old videos. Like I've been doing some of it today, and same thing. He, those were the first videos that I ever found out about him. So it was kind of cool to be like, oh, okay, like, I don't sense any like overzealous ego or anything like that. It's just like this guy just talking to a camera, very self-help. And anyways, you go back and listen to those, and it's like he's got a lot of good stuff there. Like he's always kind of been one of those that have been like right over time in history, maybe not necessarily with Bitcoin and with all the crypto, but definitely like his content stands the test of time. So it's fun to go back for people that haven't and just check out his earliest videos.
Yeah, man. I mean, it really will teach you a lot, and it will teach you where he comes from. Because if you're new here and you still think Richard Hart is a dirty scammer and you hate him because you read a Reddit post about him or an article, try to actually watch what he says and look at his actions, his personality, his body language, and what he's actually done over the course of the whole time he's been a public figure, which has been about 4 years, 5 years now, and then make the judgment call. Don't just go surface layer. Don't scratch the surface. You can really, fuck yourself over essentially from a lot of opportunity. Hey, let's get rid of what everyone wants to hear about really quick. What are your price predictions for Pulse, Brandon? Let's hear about you.
So here's the thing. I don't know how many like digits it's going to start off or anything on like in that regard. But here's what I think of is the only way we can kind of like have any sort of guesstimate with some sort of like certainty is to be able to see what other stuff is done in the past. So like with Hex, it was Ethereum did what was it? 2.5 years, it did 10,000x. Well, why can't Pulse be the same in my opinion? Especially since it's like a fork of Ethereum and it's just got some of these other like ETH 2.0 characteristics, proof of stake, stuff like that, DPoS built into it. Why can't it do the same thing? So honestly, like Hex has been badass. Like we've seen a lot of freaking gains for anyone that's been there early on. And I don't see why Pulse Chain can't do the same thing. And the other thing is too, is like Pulse Chain is going to gain value via like network effect, as Richard has talked about. Still need to do a clip of that. But then like Hex is just a little bit different because it's more of a store of value and stuff like that. But the more usage that the Pulse Chain network gets, the better, with obviously the fee burn and stuff like this. So I think the more the merrier. And then the other thing I'll say is like, as someone that's been pretty like Hex maximalish, for the past like 2.5 years, people that have their own like opinions and whatnot on Hex, which I do as well, you got to be able to separate those from Pulse Chain coming out, and you got to be able to not like betray or distract people from wanting to build on your chain, because that's where the ultimate like network and value is going to come from, is from people building on the chain, from people having their cloned copy from Ethereum over and then using it.
Yeah, I mean, we can roughly estimate what one Pulse will be upon launch based on the number of sacrifice points that you got times, let's say, the 2.5 multiplier. If you were the highest volume guy, right, and you got in from day 1 through 5, for every dollar you invested, you would get 10,000 points times 2.5, so you'd get 25,000 sacrifice points, right? And 25,000, $1 divided by 25,000 equals 0.0004. I think that's right. Let me do the math on this really quick. $1 divided by 25,000. Yeah. 0.00004. So not only 1/10,000, 100,000ths of a dollar is what you could imagine that the price might be right out the gate. Right out the gate based on the sacrifice points per dollar. But because that price is so low, I mean, it begs the question, what's going to happen next? Will a bunch of people be dumping on day 1? And will that send Pulse into a multi-week, maybe even a month or 2-month long dip wherein people can continue to buy? Or will it be so low that people are just waiting and they don't even care? I mean, do we have such a strong community that believes in it so long term? It comes down to the ratio of believers to non-believers. The ratio of short-term speculators to long-term holders and long-term believers. Basically, the paper hand soy boy to diamond hand Chad ratio. I think by starting at such a low number, that you fix the unit bias to really propel Hex to go up. And what I mentioned on my stream the other day is you've also, by having such a short sacrifice phase, by making the sacrifice phase a matter of 19 days rather than 1 year, you actually put a lot of people in a perceived state of having missed the boat, which, even though they really haven't missed the boat, they'll feel like they have to get in the ground floor. So there's a group of people that feel like they missed the sacrifice phase because it was such a short window. That's going to absorb a lot of the buy pressure, right? So that combined with the unit bias is going to keep the price, I think, up initially. But let's not forget, guys, the bear case to me is essentially the bear case in any IPO, which is the classic IPO pop. Hey, I got all these coins for a really cheap price. How much can I dump them for? How much can I dump them for? And that's the pleb mindset right there. That is the very poor boy mindset that can't see past a day or a week or a month. But I think if you're smart and Pulse, you're obviously, if you're a Hexakin, you understand the concept of holding for multiple months and even years. A lot of people in Pulse aren't going to get that right away. So you're going to have two sets of people, but I think that again, there's an argument both ways. I really am bullish. I'm more bullish in the unit bias and the FOMO keeping the price up than I am in the short-term speculators pushing the price down. So if we were at 0.00004 right off the bat, if that's really where we are, I feel like the only way to go is up. But again, don't come at me and say, hey, you promised me this was going to go up right away, right? Anything can happen. Let me fix my microphone.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
how's my microphone now? Is that better?
Oh, that's way better, dude. I didn't even notice, but yeah, that's way better. Yeah, you sound like a whole new world,
Sorry, Bojan. Anyway, what I was saying is that 25,000 sacrifice points divided by $1 divided by 25,000 sacrifice points, which would be the maximum amount you can get in day 1 through 5, would equal 0.0004 of a 0.0004 of a penny. And right after that, I feel like there's going to be a lot of a frenzy of buy pressure because there's going to be so much hype, which there already is, right? And it's all building right now. And all the hype is building. Meanwhile, the sacrifice phase is over. So we have 2 months in which we can basically be the purveyors of our own destiny. Like we can choose to spread the word. I mean, you are the network, right? So it's up to us what we do and how much buzz we can generate, how much marketing we can do, how much promotion, without using the word shill, how much marketing we can do. That's gonna be the network effect that you see when on day 1, right? Hey, CryptoCopy, quick shout out to you for that fantastic Hex Ladder stream the other day. I've sent that to many friends when onboarding. Thank you, Piston Broke. Yeah, sometimes you got to revise the old videos and give them a reboot because all the OGs get it, but then you realize, oh my God, there's like 10 times as many people in Hex as there were back when I made that video. So let's make a new staking ladder video.
Well, and I want to say just real quick, shout out to you because, someone like Gary, someone like, Funding Jim, someone like Richard Hart has talked about this a lot before too. Like I mentioned, his early videos and kind of going back and listening to, but anyways, he talks about like evergreen content, right? That is like, it's like a value add for pretty much the rest of time. And, someone like yourself has always kind of had really good, like tutorial videos and, kind of like that evergreen content. And like you mentioned, I know you said some of them have been maybe like a rehash of stuff that's been maybe over a year old. And same thing with some of the clips that I've done. It's like, okay, Richard's kind of already talked about this, already kind of have a clip on this, but it would be nice to hear like a new perspective, So for someone like yourself to kind of rehash it in for the people that didn't get it the first time, I think is super important. And then the other thing I'll say just real quick is on that unit bias, right? I remember those days when it was, 4 zeros and then whatever, and a million hex for less than in Ethereum, stuff like that. But people really don't realize how high things can go, and that's why with other crypto, they'll sell it on a double, like Richard talked about, or they'll sell it when they make a 10x, and oh my God, I just made out like a bandit, but then they missed out on the 3,800x, and that's where Hex really is similar to that Bitcoin, where Bitcoin did that 6.5 million X from a penny. Yeah. And, Hex really is that story where it's like, hey, we're at 13 cents, but we used to have 4 zeros and then a digit, right. And we're doing well.
So going back to the Pulse price, right? We're probably going to have 4 zeros before a digit when Pulse launches, but I think we can make an analogy, right? What is Hex most similar to? It's most similar to Bitcoin. What is Pulse most similar to? Obviously Ethereum. It's the network layer in which the programmed money runs on top of. So if you're given programmable money, right, Hex is the first program that we've run on top of programmable money. It's interest. It's trustless interest with no middleman. And we were given this because that's what smart contracts were meant to do. They were meant to be immutable code that runs functions that remove the middlemen that typically have, give you the banking products. So Hex is the world's first blockchain CD. It's also a great store of value. Hex is akin to Bitcoin, as Pulse is akin to Pulse Chain. But what happened to Ethereum in the early days, right? The reason that I try to warn people about a potential dump is because I see when Ethereum first hit the market in the very early days, and what you're seeing in the screen right in front of you is the Ethereum price in 2015, shortly after it was launched, I think in 2014. You're seeing an initial dump, right? You're seeing a big sell-off because there's a bunch of broke plebs right there. It went from $3 all the way down to 66 cents. Then it bounced back up to $2. Then it went all the way back down to 41 cents. Now, I think the people that actually got in on the IPO, let's call it the ICO of Ethereum. I think they all got in at about 36 cents would be like their maximum price, because they had a similar launch to Pulse Chain, except the launch was like 42 days instead of 19 days. But even the people that got in on like the worst day of the Ethereum launch at, let's say, 36 cents, well, post that launch, the lowest Ethereum dipped was 41 cents. So that's still above the so-called ICO price. And let's see, how long did it take? Let's do some analysis on how long that took to drop that low. Well, it took about 77 days to drop from the high to 42 cents. So if you have the balls, let's say the cojones, to hold for 77 days, what is that? Just over 2 months, 2.5 months. I don't think you can go wrong. In fact, all the people that got in on the Ethereum ICO were never really at a loss, right? Like, you were only at a loss if you bought Ethereum when it hit the open market, and then you held it all the way down to 42 cents. If you bought it during the ICO, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were always up. Lemon Ortega says, isn't Pulse an ICO? We don't like to use the word ICO anymore because it's not in fashion. It's not legally appropriate, but you could think of it as a donation. Yeah, it's a sacrifice. The language was very particular for a reason. So we don't like to use the word ICO anymore. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But come on, guys. Get the hint. Anyway, so I don't think, let's see. I think even if there is a dip upon the launch of Pulse on an open market, I don't think it's going to last longer than, let's say, 3 months at the very worst. Let's call it 90 days just to be safe. And then even so, when it goes down, I think anyone that got in on the sacrifice phase will still be in profit. Even with the initial dump on the open market. Now, I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong, and you could be down on your money. You could be down 50%. You could be down. Okay. You might have a month or two where your Pulse sacrifice is down in US dollar value. But I mean, I think if you don't see the long-term picture, if you don't have the diamond hands to hold for longer than 1 month, guys, what's 1 month? What's 1 month of your life?
Yeah.
You know, like, is it really that hard to hold for 1, 2, 3 months? Like, if you're in Pulse, if you're in Hex, if you're going to win in crypto in general, you need to have a time horizon longer than 3 months, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, just wait to see how it shakes out, you know? But again, what I'm trying to say is my price prediction is it's going to start out really low. There's going to be a lot of buying frenzy to absorb any sell pressure. And just being listed on any market, any open market, is going to cause people to trade it. If there's one thing I've learned in crypto is that if there's something available to be traded, it's going to be traded. People are going to. That's true.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't matter what it is. I mean, people are still trading Ethereum Classic, right? That still has a price.
Like you mentioned, I definitely agree. And I saw yesterday, I know NFTs have kind of had their phase and whatnot, and you know, there's been like outrageous prices, but this one. You know, just like they say, like Pet Rock back in the day, I guess, used to be popular. Some guy bought like a Pet Rock NFT that was like some sort of like 1 out of 300 for like 15 Ethereum. And it's like, oof. Like, anyways, the point is like you mentioned, anytime you've got a price discovery and anytime you have something that can accumulate value, someone's going to usually, consider that valuable. And then the thing I'll just say real quick that was aside from that little NFT thing was that we're really spoiled in cryptocurrency, that it is the highest appreciating asset class in the world in general. And so when you look at, say, like your 401k or even like your traditional stocks and stuff like that you might have with a company or just in general, we don't ever see any gains like Crypto Coffee mentions. If you can have like a 3-month time horizon, stuff like that, like where else do you hear that in investing? Like 3 months, my opinion, is absolutely nothing. But it goes to show you that in crypto, a lot can really change. And so for those people that don't have that little bit of like longer term time horizon, they can definitely fall victim to trading and stuff like that. But the real money is made in just kind of holding, accumulating, and not letting the market dictate your emotions.
Yeah, easier said than done, though, right? I'd be lying.
That is true. Yeah,
I'd be lying if I said that my emotions didn't get in the way of things. But
that's
for all
true.
those people that feel like they either missed Hex or they missed Pulse Chain, like those people are going to have a buying frenzy when P-Hex is launched on Pulse Chain and when Hex is launched on an open market, and when there's a bridge to bridge your USDC over or to bridge your Ethereum over. It's going to unlock. I mean, people like complexity, right? People like to experiment with new technology, especially the crypto community, right? So if we open up this giant new Pandora's box where we're copying every ERC20 over, I mean, there's going to be a lot of unexpected things that are going to happen. But what I'm pretty confident about is that there will be a lot of attention on it. There'll be a lot of experimenters trying it out. There'll be a lot of people that want to see what Pulse is all about in the real world, right? Because I mean, we're really just a bunch of technical nerds that want to make money. I mean, you have a weird community that loves complexity, and we're in the early stages right now where we actually value something that is potentially a scaling solution, rather than by the time it gets so mature. By the time crypto is really mature, you're going to have applications that abstract crypto from people so much that they don't even realize that they're doing crypto. Kind of like your Venmo or your Cash apps or whatever. When you're buying crypto through there, you just feel like it's the front end is so pretty and everything, and nobody really cares about whether or not they're actually holding the crypto or not. But in the early days of crypto, you have basically a fanatic group of hardcore believers. And so I feel like the network effect and the virality of something new, it can't be ignored. It can't be ignored by people. So you're going to have a lot of people, even if they want to call it a scam, even if they want to say, hey, Pulse is a scam, they're still going to want to experiment, and they're still going to want to see if they can make money with quote unquote the airdrop of a lifetime, right? People are all in crypto for the money. And I think people cannot resist the opportunities that await them on Pulse Chain. Whether or not it's like you want to get in on Pulse early, or you want to get in on P-Hex early, or maybe you want to get in on like Celsius token early, or whatever token, because you think that it's going to be used heavily on Pulse Chain. If you want to be a whale in a new coin, you have that opportunity. But then there is the counter argument too, right? There's the counter argument that a lot of people are playing into that narrative. So maybe there will be a lot of dumping initially. I don't know, Bran. I don't know. What do you think about price predictions?
Well, I think it's just like what you said. Like even with Hex, when you look at when it was listed on, say, Uniswap V1, that it's got not an 80%, but it's got like a 60 or something like that percent retrace, when people could finally dump the 10% that they had from the free claim. And there's always going to be that number of people that, hey, buy the rumor, sell the news. In this case, they just got the Pulse, so now they want to sell it immediately when they can, and that's fine. But like you mentioned, that's really where the price discovery comes in, and that's really when like the market decides to establish, hey, what is this actually worth? And so when you've got something that's going to be trading at zero for maybe like a day before it's actually like launched into the markets and the automated market makers, I think you have something that can really go up in value a lot. But what most people just have to consider is, you're not going to sell every top. And, when you try to treat other cryptos, like when you, same thing with Bitcoin, right? When you try to trade Bitcoin, oh, maybe you got that first 1,000x, but then you missed the other, 6.4 something million x. So each crypto is kind of its own different beast. And when you have a community of, Pulsicans, Hexicans, stuff like that, I think we just have a different dynamic. So it's going to be different this time, and it probably will be similar to an Ethereum, ICO or launch and stuff like that. But we see what Ethereum's done so many years later, and now it's done a lot well.
And just to validate something I kind of pulled out of my ass earlier, Ash, thank you for validating this one on the real chart. In middle of 2014, when Ethereum actually did launch, it went into the market with a value of 31 cents per Ether. So that just goes to show you, even before Bitstamp got a hold of it. And Bitstamp, guys, Bitstamp is the oldest chart I could find on TradingView. I can't find any better chart, unfortunately. But if Ethereum launched at a price of 31 cents per Ether, we could see on the early Ethereum chart that it never really retraced below a 31 cent mark. It went back to 41. So it got kind of close, 41 to 31. But you were still up, 25%. So I'm not saying everything is going to repeat exactly the same, but history does rhyme. And so we do have to look at, because the analogy from Pulse Chain to Ethereum is so strong, I think we do have to look at, how the ICO went in Ethereum versus how the ICO went in Pulse Chain. So again, if the price is 0.00004, we can multiply that by, times 1.25, and we might be able to say that 77 days after the launch, it's going to go up to 0.005. Let's try to do some quick math on screen right now. In 144 days, it went up 3,225%. So that is a 30x, I believe, 32x. Let's do that times 32. I think after 6 months, we could see Pulse at about 0.001 pennies. And that's me being conservative, 0.0016. And that's just by literally mathematically replicating what Ethereum did, kind of. But again, guys, I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass, so don't quote me on any of this stuff. Basically, it's going to go up and to the right. How fast and how quickly, I think you might want to take a look at the shape of the Ethereum chart. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Ducaro says there are going to be some edge cases of free coins on the Pulse chain that gain immediate adoption and price discovery, like PHEX. I think PHEX is the obvious one, Ducaro. I agree with you. I think PHEX is the one that everybody, you're bootstrapping the entire Hex ecosystem and economy on Pulse chain. Let's not beat around the bush. Even though Pulse chain is coin agnostic, you're going to have primarily Hex users as the first early adopters of Pulse chain. So yes, PHEX will probably gain the most price appreciation and easiest price discovery. I think it's going to be, my gut feeling is that it's going to be PHEX, and then it's going to be a lot of new projects. I think the existing powers that be, the existing projects like your Chainlinks and your Solanas, I don't know. That's probably not an ERC20. All your ERC20s, your compounds, your Aves, whatever. I think they're going to have a pride factor, and the admin key holders of those coins are not going to be quick to migrate over. Because again, a lot of these projects hold admin keys. A lot of these projects are stuck in the zeitgeist of the times, which is being on Ethereum. Being on Ethereum is cool. It's too risky to go over to Pulse Chain. Oh my God, Richard Hart owns 80% of it. What if he dumps the whole price to zero? Not realizing that doesn't even really affect them, really, technically. Even if the Pulse price did go to zero, it'd actually be better for their fees. But I do see a lot of people, just out of disdain for Richard Hart, or being hesitant to adopt the Pulse chain. So I think PHEX and new projects are going to be the primary new use cases. And it's going to take a couple of months, maybe even years, for people to come on over to the Pulse chain network, for people to actually come around. Dexter, what strategies are you guys considering whilst holding your Pulse so that it isn't idle but growing? Well, Dexter, staking it, dude. It is a proof of stake coin, so I will probably be delegating most of my Pulse to whichever validator that I choose to. There's going to be 33 of them, right? I might even run my own. I'm still debating. It will cost me money, and it will take a lot of my time, but it could be a fun experiment for me. I think that it doesn't make sense to hold your Pulse liquid, really, ever. If you can just delegate it to a validator. And by delegating it to a validator, that's what delegated proof of stake means. It means that you're not big enough to be a validator, but you can be a barnacle on a whale, essentially. You know, you can delegate to somebody with the computing power to, you know, create new blocks. So that's pretty cool. Bitfinesse is no matter how much money, thank you. No matter how much money you had tied up in your sacrifice, it's worth letting it ride on Pulse. The upside is virtually limitless since the features are way better than any other chain. Hashtag never to sell. Thank you. Thank you, Bitfinesse. Marcavelli, if it does dip, it's not going to last long. Exactly. Marcavelli, we just saw that the dip in Ethereum from its high after launch in 2015 only lasted 77 days. I mean, if you can wait 77 days, you can wait through the initial Pulse dip, probably.
Even Hex in the beginning, just real quick. Like, I remember back in the day where it was like, oh my God, Hex went down to like 1 Satoshi and stuff like this. And then now, I mean, that was like over like a year and a half ago. But like you mentioned, you know, you zoom out and to think that like waiting 3 months or waiting a year or waiting 2 years is like being patient is kind of comical in my opinion. But hey, if we can see these kinds of results with that kind of, you know, quote unquote patience compared to some of the other crypto stuff that's going on, then I think you can really be rewarded. And like, I didn't have a whole bunch of money going into Hex, and not going to say what my holdings were, but for someone that say just had $1,000 and say they got in at the greatest time, you know, from its lowest to its all-time high, that'd be worth like 3.8 million right now. And that's liquid. That's not even including staking or big payday or self-referral. So it can really go up a lot higher than you ever think. And so that's the only thing I'll say is like, when you've got the design intention behind something that's just been designed so well and been proven, it's not reinventing the wheel. It's been proven success, and it's just taking something and changing it a little bit. Then you can have some mad gains.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a lot of the Ethereum code repeated. In fact, it's more of the Binance Smart Chain code, ironically. True. But it's going to be more distributed because it's not going to be CZ owning all the nodes. Planet Bus wants to say also, good point. Don't forget that by making Pulse Chain, we actually take load off of Ethereum. So Vitalik Buterin actually touted this strategy as a way to address the current Ethereum gas problem. And quite frankly, what I really think is that layer 2 solutions like Optimism and ZK rollups are not at the user experience level yet where anybody can just hop on and understand them and interact with them. It takes a lot of technical know-how, and, you know, we might be biased, especially, you know, I've used ZK Sync before. I've used Optimism and all this stuff, but we can't forget that crypto is going to be for everybody. Crypto is going to be for everybody. And I don't think right now or in the next 3 or 4 years, I don't think layer 2 is going to be at the UX level that we need it to be for mass adoption. So I think in the meantime, a great strategy would be to create new layer 1s with interoperability between them, with different bridging protocols between these layer 1s. And Vitalik has also expressed his validation for the strategy. So while I don't think Pulse Chain is the be all end all, I think Pulse Chain is the intermediate step where we have, let's say, 3, 4, 5 layer 1s that end up being all interoperable. And once we can all agree on a very highly feasible and very good UX layer 2 solution, then all these layer 1s can use the same layer 2 solution. Like, that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like, these layer things, different layer 1s can all roll up to the same layer 2. But because the experience of layer 2 is so far off, what are we going to do? Just sit on our ass for a year and pay $100 a swap? No. We're going to build our way around it. We're going to build our way out of it. Henry R. Either way, I have money set aside to Pulse. Vimone says, you think we're still in a bull market? No, man. I think we're in a bull trap. But I'd be happy to be wrong, man. What about you, Gran?
Same here, man. It's here's the thing. As someone that's followed Richard since early, like probably March 2017, I didn't listen to his call when he called the top of, you know, when he was shit talking Litecoin, when he was, you know, talking about Bitcoin being its top. I didn't listen. I was like, all right, well, you know, we'll just keep subscribe to this guy, but I'll listen to these other, you know, fake gurus, so some of these gurus. And the point is I think we're in the same thing, the bull trap, right? Where because Richard had said that his thesis or his prediction will be invalidated because he could be wrong, wouldn't be the first time, but it'll be invalidated once we've made a new all-time high. And maybe $20,000 off from its new all-time high when it comes to stuff like Bitcoin. And Richard did call maybe like a month ago. We just didn't really have much of a bounce, and he's like, I'm waiting for this dead cat bounce, so it seems that this might be the bounce that he was looking for. And there just doesn't seem to be like when Richard talks about that the richest person has already bought in Bitcoin and gotten in, like it's time to go down from there, so everything has its own cycle. And yeah, I think we're in that bull trap as well.
Yeah, I also want to make one last point on this. I do think it's worth noting that as long as the Grayscale deficit is there, as long as it's cheaper to buy fake Bitcoin on Grayscale, you actually have the opposite of a premium right now. You have a deficit. So I don't think Wall Street or mainstream investors are going to be trying to buy spot Bitcoin anymore because they'd much rather just buy an ETN that's worth less for now, right? And so I think when we look at those numbers turning around, we'll be able to bounce back. But I really do think that a lot of people are going to get wrecked making these Bitcoin to 100K or Ethereum to $10,000 calls, which they're starting to make. Even NFTs are starting to come back. I just saw some really stupid shit the other day called Ether Rocks. It's literally
that's what I was telling you about, the rock. Yeah,
pictures of rocks, dude. And these pictures of rocks people are paying $2,000-$3,000 in Ethereum for them, and it just reminds me of a dulled down version of April or whenever the peak of the bull market was. So I do think that we're in a mini bear. It might not be as long as the other bears, but we have to admit that we've been making lower lows. And the only way that we can say we're back in the bull is if we go above 65K Bitcoin and above 42K Ethereum, which I don't think we're going to. But if I'm wrong, then everyone's happy, right? Marty, how do you make money as a validator? First of all, what's going on, Marty? Good to see you, brother. You make money as a validator by getting transaction fees. So although in Pulse Chain, 25% of the transaction fee is burned, that means 75% of the transaction fees that you pay are not burned. So if I send money from me to Bran and the transaction fee is $1, which it'll be much cheaper, right? But that means if the transaction fee to send $50 to Bran is $1, Bran will only get 75 cents if he's a validator, and 25 cents will be burned, right? So the validators just suck up transaction fees, even though they also burn 25% of transaction fees. So yeah, you just make money. You make 75% of all the fees in the system. Are there any other ways to earn interest with PLS? No, not that I know of, but I do believe there will be a liquidity mining program. So if you want to provide PLS liquidity in the early days, or if you want to provide any liquidity in the early days on the new Pulse Chain version of Uniswap, I do believe, and this is not a guarantee, but I do believe that there will be a liquidity mining program, which means you'll get rewarded with PLS token if you take the risk of putting up liquidity in various pairs on the automated market maker called Uniswap, which is been copied over.
Is that similar to, like, I know you mentioned liquidity mining and not the other word specifically, but is that anyhow similar to like yield farming? Because honestly, I don't really know much about yield farming, but I know Richard had kind of mentioned, like you mentioned, delegated proof of stake, and then there's just a couple other things that come into it. Is that different somehow?
Yeah, I mean, yield farming has become like a bastardized term to basically mean like a scam. Like I don't.
Oh,
really
yeah.
I don't really like the word yield farming because
I don't know much about it.
Well, it's been misused by so many people where it's like, hey, lock up these funds. But I think what yield farming originally was intended to be was like the money that you would make from providing a loan to somebody, and then you being paid by a pool of people that have been lended money, a monthly interest rate for the privilege of lending that money. But we've seen the pickles and the yams and the food tokens.
Right.
Everyone claims to be yield farming, so I don't even like the word yield farming. So I can't really give you a good answer on that one. Pulse is a long-term holding. Where are the beach babes? Sorry, Brand Gem, we forgot to bring them. Let's see, where am I? Bree, fuck, I'm late. Did I miss anything important? Nah, man, don't worry. We're not talking about anything important. Wally Source said, Pulse AA will control 17 validators. I don't know how you know that. I don't know how you get. Where did you get that 17 number from? Pulse price prediction. Check out earlier in the show, dude. Can we swap Pulse for PHEX? Yes, you can, sir. Because I want to get a good amount of PHEX. Well, you're in luck. You're in luck because that will probably be the primary trading pair. To be honest, it'll probably be PLS PHEX. So there's going to be a lot of activity on that one. Furus. Hopefully, you're not talking about us, Market Valley. All hands brand. Bree says there's an argument for the bulls that trillions of dollars will now be printed in the new bill, which is going to land somewhere. Yeah, I mean, the argument of out of control hyperinflation, both in the United States, China, and elsewhere, is always a bull narrative for cryptocurrency, right? The money does need to flow somewhere. It's helicopter money. They're handing it out. And you need to be part of the capital class, is what it's called. So real estate and cryptocurrency and maybe the NASDAQ are becoming the new bonds, right? You know, back in the day, we used to be able to trust the government to like have a 60-40 portfolio of stocks and bonds. Now you really want to buy capital that actually pays you. So you want to buy things that not only pay you, but have the ability to maintain their value for the long term, which is no longer bonds, you know, CDs, even high interest savings account. That's all garbage. Right now, it's, you know, in my opinion, not financial advice, NASDAQ, real estate, and most importantly, crypto, and most importantly, crypto that pays you, meaning HEX.
Well, real quick, like you mentioned, you know, yield producing and yield generating assets, because we know all about that with HEX. But just like Richard was kind of, you know, shit talking Celsius the other day and talking about this, maybe we can talk a little bit about this if you want to, because it's kind of like a big deal. But the $611 million that got, you know, hacked from the DeFi, whatever it was, the bridge. But the point is this, is that HEX, it gives you a yield, unlike BlockFi, unlike Celsius, unlike these other things, Maker, gives you a yield without any like counterparty risk. Like you're the one that gets to hold the keys. And like for some people, that might be a new concept in crypto, because like you're just used to having your money on an exchange or having, you know, your money delegated elsewhere. But it really is that concept of like, not your keys, not your crypto, and be your own bank was the old term back in the day. But to think that you can do it without any counterparty risk in HEX, and that we just saw $611 million get hacked, rug pulled. We've seen, you know, multiple billions of dollars in the past, and that Hexicans have never been affected, I think is really cool.
Yeah. One person wants to, I agree, Brian. One person might have not been listening earlier. They said, what is a realistic price prediction? Hold on. Where was that? Where the fuck was that?
I saw that one too.
Blah, blah, blah. Nope. Not going to look at that.
It's like 3 comments up, 2 or 3 comments up from the same guy, Arthur, I think.
Oh, what is a realistic price prediction for Pulse 6 months after launch? Well, I did my maximum from the low of Ethereum, which puts it at 0.0016 of a penny. Remember, they're roughly worth 0.00004. So 0.0016 would be the very top. But being more conservative, if we're taking the price from the very low, let's say a 5x. So we'll do 0.0004 times 5. That would be, I'd say, between 0.0002 and 0.0016. That's my range for 6 months after launch. So either way, I think you might be up. But not financial advice. Did Richard say if there will be a PUSD or some kind of stable for Pulse? Well, Black Label Expat, that's a very big need in the Pulse chain ecosystem right now. We really do need a stable coin that's allocated to us, because we can't rely on USDC or USDT to necessarily just drop stable coins into our Pulse chain ecosystem. And we can't be sitting around all day just waiting for them to drop their coins into our ecosystem. So I would love if a group of developers developed a stable coin that was native to the Pulse chain network, blockchain. Same. And I do happen to know of some plans for that. So it's in the very early stages right now, and it's still being planned out. So there's no promises at all, right? But it's an idea that's not It's not lost on us. Okay. There's a lot of individual people trying to figure out how to tackle this problem. And I think it's more of an engineering problem to solve and more of a jurisdictional coordination effort of, because, we could issue a stable token in the United States, or we could issue a stable token in, Europe. And obviously, me being in the United States, I'm more US centric. I would love for that to be backed 1-to-1 by a dollar from a bank in the US. So all I'll tell you is that it's early days, but it's a problem that we're all aware of and a problem that a lot of people are thinking about right now. Would you rather give your keys to would you have to give up your keys on Uniswap to earn interest? I don't know what that question means.
Real quick, I know I just sent a private chat, but it looks like Dollar Cost might be joining NFU, and then same thing with Wave 3. They had something else that was going on, but should hopefully be joining, so that'd be kind of cool.
Cool, man. BMA said, hey, Coffee, that beach in Chicago looked great. Hey, yeah, man, that's Ohio Street Beach. Great day. Hey, thank you for the tip. Hexalated. What is up, my Hexikins? 2 favorite nights kicking it. Thank you for the tip, brother. Really appreciate that. Oh, yeah, says Eric Wall, says it was a bad idea that Hex is inflationary. Later said it was a problem that Pulse would have zero inflation. He was talking about both sides of his mouth with Dev Kyle. Yeah, the thing about Eric Wall that you have to realize is that he likes to debate just for the sport of debating. He shouldn't be taken seriously. Like, he shouldn't be taken as investment advice. He shouldn't be taken as a serious person. Like, he's really just doing this partially for clout and partially just because he also likes the thrill of intellectual stimulation. And I get that, right? I get that. But we've seen a whole lot of people that are too smart for their own good, right? Wasn't it like Coolidge that said the world is filled with what was it, Marty? The world is full of educated derelicts, right? Which means essentially powerful minds that go to waste. So it's one thing to be smart and it's another thing to be effective, right? And I think that Eric Wall, he's a good debater. He's a smart guy, but I mean, what has he done versus what has Richard Hart done? What have we all done as a community? We've started a movement. Eric Wall has kind of just been a fly on the wall, chirping and debating, and he's good. He's a nice guy, a funny guy. He's pretty funny, actually. But I don't think his opinion should be construed as any kind of financial advice, nor should mine. Steve D, has anybody seen a coupon code for the course? I'm keen to sign up, and a discount would be sweet. Well, Steve D, I do have a Hex course out, if that's what you're talking about. It's 50% off right now.
Just real quick. So about the Eric Wall thing real quick is that, like you mentioned, it's one thing. I mean, as someone like with yourself too, that just been here since day one and whatnot, myself too, but it's one thing if these were arguments that we haven't heard before, but we have heard them before. They're redundant and it's the same old song and dance. And like someone else was mentioning earlier, I think Johnny Chaos earlier, but these same arguments, they're so general and they're just blanketly put on Richard and his projects that they could be put on Ethereum or Bitcoin and stuff like that too. And so it doesn't seem intellectually honest, and it seems more of like a clout chase type deal. And I know Richard sometimes does this with some like the big followers and whatnot, but he doesn't do it in a dishonest way, And so like even Richard had mentioned like those influencers do, like, oh, what's your top favorite crypto that you're into, and kind of just baiting for engagement. And anyways, Eric Wall had said like, oh, stake Hex, 2,500,000 for 15 years. And the guy just seems to be going back and forth. And it's like, I was kind of done with him. And then he had his little call with Kyle. So I was kind of like forced to do like some things that like some clips that I thought were interesting. But yeah, I mean, it really goes to show you that, like you mentioned, I think it really is kind of like an engagement type deal and like almost like an intellectual dishonesty, because in reality, Richard has never proven himself to be dishonest or that was he a scammer, rug pull. So the guy is just kind of someone that I'm kind of ignoring for now.
Yeah. What do we got here? Marty wants to know, what do you plan to spend your Hex gains on? Well, after financial freedom, after the daily lifestyle expenses, I think a lot of us are into longevity, myself included. I would love to fund longevity research and to work on it. What else do I want to do? I want to make. I want to do something creative. I want to do something really creative. I want to give a lot of my money away. I want to do like like those Mr. Beast videos when they like buy groceries for some rando, and they're like, "Hey, we're
Those
gonna
are
buy
cool,
all these
man.
Yeah, I think that'd be
That
kind of
guy's
fun.
great.
Yeah. But we're at a crossroads right now where it's like we've got these games. What do we spend it on? Well, part of my gains actually goes to more Hex marketing, right? Like I put money into Google ads. I have put money into Facebook ads in the past, and I want to get creative with the way that we market Hex. Like somebody had a really good idea to put the Hex.com logo on top of the Burj Khalifa and just take a picture of that, because the picture is worth 1,000 words, right? But we can do some really really flamboyant marketing to further pump the price of Hex with the game, so it becomes like a virtuous cycle, if you will. Hey, I'm going to bring on a special guest right here. It's called Wave 3 TV. Oh no, we can't even see his face.
I was gonna say, can we?
There
Yeah,
we go.
there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I had it pretty good. I just had a really good podcast with Cabana Crypto. So
Was that live or was not
no?
recorded,
So
I assume?
I'm just recording. So for podcasts, I record them offline,
Oh, okay.
and then it's good because then I can I can basically post the podcast and then let that go for a couple days, and then while that's going on, I'll have a podcast with another like crypto community member across like pretty much anything, and then it's an easy way for me to get content out. But yeah, it was really good. We talked a lot on just general market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pulse, and then we're just looking at the Hex price chart. So the Hex price chart looks really good. So we were talking about p-Hex speculation, basically do that before. Yeah.
Would you like to repeat yourself for the next hour?
We could just go right into the price chart.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Hell yeah.
What it's all about. So yeah,
I'm gonna go offline, but if you need me to share a screen, let me know before I go.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it right now. I'll pull up the Hex to USD chart. Okay, cool. So yeah, everything about the chart just looks really good. There's also a video from Gerardo that also kind of he has a good way of looking at the candle, like having his ideas based off the candlesticks you're seeing week to week. So there's a couple of good Easter eggs in there, and then just my general observation is everything just looks good. I don't know, when, like how long this could go sideways for. My speculation is we're probably going to, depending on when the testnet launches, there could be speculation that goes into front running specifically for p-Hex. That seems to be one of the possible scenarios because when it comes to p-Hex, I would, if you're going to speculate, my suggestion, not financial advice, is to do that before the actual snapshot takes place. Otherwise, your reference point, you're not going to have a good reference point once Pulse Chain launches, because Pulse to p-Hex, there's not going to be initially a price on either tokens, and then once the Ethereum bridge spills over, that's where you'll have your first reference point. So there's just a lot more speculation on that side. So if you're looking for p-Hex, to me the easiest option is to just do it through Hex as it is today. But as far as downside level, I'm not going to speculate on downside prices, guys. I look at the macro trends. I don't care what perhaps one weekly candle is doing. So far, it's still in an uptrend. And this center line here, this is actually the 20-week moving average. On the entire historical Hex weekly price chart, it's only dropped below it 2 times, just before and just after the big payday. And basically since then, it's just held it as support. So I would say if you do see like any downside, this could basically be a potential major moving average that the price could test, but it doesn't necessarily have to test that moving average. It can basically keep holding this structure and then build up until having, let's say, another move up. There was a lot of supply that got sacrificed, about 700 million prior to any any coins that were speculated to be the OA. So there's just, from my view, there's just not a lot of liquid supply. You still are likely to see a lot of volatility day to day, regardless of the time frame, like daily, 4 hour, hourly. You're probably going to see a lot of volatility within these Bollinger Bands that it's moving in. So I say at this point it's mostly patience, and the other unknown right now is, you know, what Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to do as far as the rest of the market goes. So right now, Bitcoin is obviously still pumping, Ethereum is still pumping, and we're still trying to figure out, or at some point, the market will tell you whether it's either a bull trap or a bear trap. One side is going to be wrong on what they think it is. One side's ultimately going to be right. So the longer Bitcoin and Ethereum hold up, regardless of what the outcome is, the better it is for the Hex price chart, just because there is some liquidity in the Hex to ETH pair that we don't necessarily want to like drag down the price if Ethereum drops below its 20-week moving average. But aside from that, things look pretty good. And to me, this tier looks pretty similar to, you know, it could actually be pretty similar to this type of candle structure we saw before April of 2020.
So what's all that gray shit below the price chart?
This is just a Bollinger Band. So
really?
Yeah, these are it just looks weird when you look at it on the weekly. Maybe if I change it to the daily price chart.
Okay.
Yeah, these are just it tends to work well with a lot of charts you're looking at. I don't, you know, people like to use Bollinger Bands for trading, but again, like you're not going to beat the long term holder. But yeah, the thing with like the Bollinger Band is the basis, which is this. It's not, since the bands are all stretched out, it's not really like a center line. I'll just call it a center line for simplicity, but this is a 20-week moving average. And then basically the upper and lower bounds are just the lower bounds are all fucked up. I don't know why it does that, but the upper band is just, it's like a deviation from the 20-week moving average. And you could kind of think of it as like a rubber band where the price could like push into like some sort of rubber band. It pushes it down into like a moving average. And then it just does that over and over again over the course of an uptrend. It's kind of similar on like the Bitcoin and Ether charts. You see very similar behavior with like the Bollinger Bands. So I would expect if you get a explode up scenario, you would basically see this Bollinger Band start to like open back up again, where it starts to get stretched. And the upside potential is still, it's really good. This is still, from my viewpoint, the Hex price chart from my viewpoint is still in its 3-wave until the market suggests otherwise. Uptrend is still valid. Pulse Chain will launch at probably some point later this year, within the next couple months. So 3-wave is still on. Things look good.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what we like to hear. Thanks for telling me everything's going to be okay. No, it's going to be fine, dude. It's going to be great. Do we have Dollar Cost joining us, or?
I said he was going to like 40 minutes ago, but
okay,
no problem. That goes.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh,
so
Sapper wants to know. Just wondering where all that gray shit sits in the course. That's all. Well, gray shit's a highly technical term, Sapper. Apparently, if you were as good of a technical analyst as I am, you would understand the concept of gray shit. Just kidding. BMA says, I really like Hex being decorated. Like, yeah, by the chart, you mean? Yeah. Crypto Coffee, count me in, 99 and 200. Well, Steve D, it's 50% off right now. So if you use the coupon code 50 off August, you'll get half off. It's really just about how to set up a staking ladder. It's really, the whole course, by the way, guys, is designed for someone that's brand new to crypto. So if you have no idea what we're talking about when we say MetaMask, Coinbase, Uniswap, DEX, all the terminology, all the mindset, the staking ladder system, if you have no idea what we're talking about, get the course. But really, if you really dedicate your mind to it, you can learn everything from just watching YouTube videos. But what all the course does is it like streamlines everything for you, and it basically gives you a step-by-step guide so you don't have to watch like hours and hours of live streams. Instead, you can probably watch about 6-7 hours of me talking and guiding you through it. But yeah, I mean, it's really a noob friendly course. Hey, Cash Plus, thank you, brother, for the $25. Thank you, sir. You're the man. Decorrelated. Great stream. Dester says, will Pulse Chain launch with a PLS ETH bridge? I believe yes. So Richard has really driven the point home that he does not want to launch this thing like without being pretty good, like good enough. So there's a concept in software called the MVP, the minimum viable product. And he's listed 4 things on his MVP, right? It's, get go.hex.com updated, get the bridges updated. So the bridges is one thing. Get the consensus mechanism tested and the testnet up and all that. And then the 4th was, God damn it. Does anybody remember what the 4th thing on the MVP list?
I don't, but I do have that recorded. I will make a clip of it for people later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is important to know.
But just know that the bridge, the PLS ETH bridge, is part of the MVP for Pulse. So it will not launch without one, is my understanding, right? I mean, you really can't launch Pulse without a bridge. Like, otherwise, how would anybody get into the ecosystem? You know?
That's true, yeah.
So, and if so, would the gas fee be paid in Pulse? No, well, depends on where you're coming from, right? If you're coming from ETH into Pulse, then the gas fee would be paid in ETH. If you're going back out from Pulse to ETH, then the gas fee would most likely be paid in PLS. So it really depends on what chain you're coming from. You're always going to pay the fee in the currency of the chain that you're coming from. What else? Bree, I say the allegations against Aubrey are bullshit. Yeah,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I don't even want to bring it up because I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to feed the fire of bullshit. But isn't that timing funny, right? Isn't that timing very, very funny? And I think it'll blow under the rug or blow away. I don't know. It'll be gone with the wind.
Swept under the rug.
Swept under the rug. It'll be gone with the wind faster than we can realize. So, copy. I was already in crypto, but the course did help me understand Hex better, and the idea of applying CD letters to Hex stakes worth it if you are new to Hex. Thank you, Black Label Expat, for the glowing review. I really appreciate that, bro. I really do.
Got a quick question, just real quick. For Wave 3, where can we listen to that podcast that you did with Cabana? Is it on your channel or something?
Yeah, it's going to be on. I post the links directly on Twitter. But it's there's already there's kind of a queue right now with a podcast recently, so I'm just releasing it in order, and then eventually it'll come up in the correct order at some time on Twitter. So
when can people expect it? Like a month or something, or?
I mean, just probably within the next like couple of weeks, probably sooner.
Cool.
But
Perfect,
I'm not gonna put like a firm timeline. I just put like because right now, there's it should come up pretty quickly. It's just I'm doing it in the order as far as how the podcasts are taking place, so that people have time to listen to a podcast before the next one is posted. So right now there's one I'm posting that was with a developer on Cosmos that's building some sort of DeFi product in that ecosystem. So people can listen to that, and then they can listen to, and then after that I'm posting Cabana's podcast, and then there's going to be 2 more after that are for this week, and then I'll basically set up like a schedule for anything that's for the weeks ahead, and get everything set up. So, but yeah, so far it seems to be working pretty good. It's very flexible on the timing, which is nice, which is what I was kind of looking for. And then I don't have to do like late streams or anything like that. So very nice, laid back environment. Working so far. But yeah, I got your message here, Brand. We can set something up, and then just have like I might be out of town this upcoming week, but I'll keep you basically. We can figure out any days that I guess I'm in San Diego, because I'm at home right now, but I'll be traveling at least for a couple weeks sometime this month, and I'll be doing some fun things for a little bit too.
Cool, man. Nice. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Everyone's talking about bridges. Yeah, we might not have a bridge day one, but again, I really do think that Richard intended to have a bridge on day one, some kind of a bridge. And all your statements are true, right? Like, yeah, if we launch without a bridge, we totally can, and everything would just have zero value, or it would only be denominated in PLS, right? But we wouldn't know how much a PLS is worth in USD. So if we're talking about having a value in USD, we're going to need to bridge things over that have a USD value in order to compare them and to give them a ratio in the new network, right? So either way, I don't think it's like an issue. I do think, yeah, PHEX will start with zero value and so will PLS, but it'll only be for a brief millisecond before people are actually able to bridge things over into the ecosystem. I mean, do you guys think I'm off on that, or what do you think?
That sounds about right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't see why he would launch it without a bridge. I mean,
yeah, I don't. If they're, maybe the only reason initially would be to get that price at like zero or something like that.
Yeah, but only for a couple minutes though. Like, if anything, only for like an hour, maybe.
Yeah, I don't expect anything like malicious or something like that. There is some wild speculation I heard with the bridge that just seemed very unlikely. There's going to be a bridge, so I'm not worried about it. Like, I think basically the big part is there's probably going to be people speculating on Pulse to like PHEX or something like that. But the bridge, as Crypto Coffee mentioned, it could be very quick where the bridge is there shortly after launch, and then you start getting prices relative to like USD, whatever it is. We don't know what any of that's going to be, but we'll probably find out pretty fast, like after the chain launches, just one step at a time.
Yeah, but again, that's like 2 or 3 months away. So let's enjoy the Hex ride up until then. Let's pump our bags.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, everybody wants. Why wouldn't you want double your stack, right? Double bubble. Somebody wants to know, where can I get a Hex bumper sticker? Anybody know? Can anybody help this guy? Yeah, I don't know, man. You can make your own. Go to redbubble.com and make your own. It's easy. Anyway,
I agree. Just real quick with Coffee and Wave 3 that the process has already happened for the sacrifice. So people almost like they're like too excited early, and just like Richard had mentioned, like in his stream, a whole bunch of people are saying like when Pulse, when Snapshot. It's like, dude, it'll get here when it gets here. Like, just be patient and let the work and discovery process happen. I mean, not to say that you can't ask those questions, but yeah, kind of like the more that you detract from Richard, getting work done, then you could have just been sitting back and waiting for it to come out, and then kind of have your little talks on speculation. Because otherwise, like, no one knows what he's going to do at the end of the day.
Here's a pretty good thought. Not to get deep on all you guys, but Anon Yamusukuro, less consuming, more creating. I totally agree, man. I feel, I don't know about you guys, but I start to feel really like shitty every time I'm just consuming. And
totally.
Every time I'm making something, whether that's a video or some kind of new, anything creative, a new website, a new marketing campaign, even a new tweet, right? It's like, it feels better to be on the creating side than on the consuming side. So
I agree.
It can be really depressing to just consume Twitter endlessly day to day.
Yeah.
And
yes,
just quick
definitely.
mental health check for all you guys out there.
Yeah.
If you go out and create something, it actually feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Delayed gratification. Yeah.
Just real quick,
my headphones died. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. My opportunity. So just real quick. So Richard had mentioned the same thing, right? Coffee had mentions that people need to be creating, or Anonymous Suku mentions that people need to be creating more than consuming. And, so many times people just like veg out, look at their phone, have hazy eyes, and then they don't do anything. But I said that to say that people like Richard has mentioned that he's been in Bitcoin since 2011, but has been kind of like a lurker for the past 6 years, maybe like 2017, something like that is when he, really got into, being a thought leader and stuff like that. But his time and his energy could have been, put to better use for people improving and growing if they, would have just listened to his content if he was making content. So a lot of people, to his point, they kind of check out when like they could really be the people that are changing lives and making people's, thought decisions a little bit better.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I'm just reading some comments right now, but I guess even back to the whole Twitter, getting stuck on Twitter all day. That part's definitely true, because I mean,
Yeah, dude.
most people just shit post on Twitter, which like does it that's just what it is. Twitter is mostly shit posting, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, for some people, it can get very mentally exhausting after a while, because it doesn't add value. Like there's no purpose to it. So, for people that like to create things, they have to actually build stuff that is like a goal or something that they, in their mind, is like useful. So the goals are very important. Even after the person has like a lot of money, it's still very important to have certain goals to kind of work towards.
Well, I'll see people bitch and complain like, "Oh, Richard, you haven't done a stream in like 6 or 7 days. Like, we're fiending for you." And clearly, these people don't listen, because Richard has mentioned multiple times, and clearly they must be new, because he's mentioned multiple times that when he's not tweeting, when he's not doing these streams, he's working, right? He's trying to build and create things that can be similar to the success of Hex and similar to getting your freedoms back. But yeah, like you mentioned, when even though it's like nice to like calm down your followers and let them know that, hey, Pulse Chain's going all good and stuff like that, some people just need to like really just kick back and like you mentioned, just log off for a bit. I mean, because I've done it and a lot of us have, but where you're kind of on social media all the time, and whether it be just Hexicans that you follow or other people as well, it can eventually have like similar effects, and they're not necessarily healthy. So yeah, if you can kind of like be productive and provide more value and not veg out as much, like Bree mentions as well, like, oh, I've posted profound things in my tweets and stuff like that before, and no one just really engaged with them. And it's really true at the end of the day. So you have to ask yourself, like, is this just entertainment or am I wasting my time? So really good questions to ask.
Yeah, I guess there's some pretty interesting. This is why it's going to be pretty fun when I release the podcast later with Cabana, because we had some very interesting like talk, because we actually had a very similar way of how we basically even invested in Hex at the time. We just entered at different stages. So
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of it just kind of comes down to because for me, it's like for me, the time, I just honestly don't care. Like when it comes to the timing aspect of it, like I seriously don't care, because like I have, I just have assets in this market that I'm holding for a while. So there's a lot of things that I'm just reading, even like, and then I'm gonna basically hit Pulse sometime either in September or I'd say by the latest, like around October. But either way, there's a lot of stuff going on in general that's keeping me basically busy and stimulated. So if there's people complaining about time, I seriously don't care. That's just my honest answer on that, or my response to that. Like it doesn't bother me, I guess. So I can't relate to it.
Totally different side topic, but I don't know
Yeah.
if we've talked about it since the actual stream ended, since the Pulse Chain launch ended. But how do you think that the launch went? I don't know if you were there for a big payday and stuff like that, but it was very similar to the OA participating, towards like the past couple of days and stuff like that. And anyways, like, what are your thoughts? I mean, you have 14 billion. I think that was a little bit more, maybe call it like 15, something like that. That was sacrificed in total, and then something like 27, 28 million to Sens. Do you have any like thoughts on how it went? I mean, especially for this kind of being its like own unique idea of a sacrifice.
Yeah, I thought the whole phase went fine. I didn't think there was any issues with it. So, um, I would say right now, since there's still the interim before the actual test net, for anybody that's interested, and this is something this is just in general for the Hex community, it is very important that for people building on this chain to be credibly neutral. This scales off demand. It is not the same thing as Hex. Hex and Pulse are two totally different things. The game theory, totally different between the two. So
Totally.
at the end of the day, when you look at something like Ethereum, it's all goes. Like it's chaos on chain. But now if you look at EIP 1559, that's burning coins out of circulation. It's going to make Ethereum deflationary. And as a result, like Ethereum is likely only going to, over long periods of time, go up in value. So aside from whatever bull or bear waves you end up getting. So it is very important, like for any battles related to Hex, keep that separate out of Pulse. Fight the Hex battles separately. Do not like overlap or interject developers from building on this network. Like this needs devs. This needs to have actual volume through the chain, because that's how it scales. It scales off demand. So that's the big thing is from the standpoint of developers, the more that are building on this, the better. And then there's even been hints from Richard specifically with some ideas that perhaps haven't been disclosed that he has related to things that can be built on chain. So do what you can to help on chain activity, but you have to realize that this is an open, distributed network. The policing is just not going to. It's not going to work, guys. Like, it's an open ledger. There's going to be all sorts of shit that gets built on chain. If you have a vision for the future, then build it. Don't bitch about it on Twitter. Actually build something and do something useful. Because I saw comments in Motley's thread that are just not acceptable. Like, they're
Totally,
actually doing things that actually generate some kind of demand. So at the end of the day, do stuff that actually increases demand, because that all goes into the game theory and how Pulse as an asset scales in price. So do not necessarily overlap the game theory between Hex and Pulse Chain, because it's totally different. Both have a lot of potential. Even if you look at what Eric Wall has been mentioning on Twitter, to me, it suggests that there's still asymmetry. If you look at something like Eric Wall has been digging into Hex for quite a while, but there's, in my viewpoint, still some asymmetry there. Not financial advice. Like, again, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just putting my views out there. But to me, it's going to be very interesting if there comes a time where the sentiment flips, because that hasn't. It's nowhere near as bad as like if you look prior to Big Payday, but overall, I would say the sentiment isn't as negative, but to me, it still suggests there's still some asymmetry there, especially if you listen to the recent podcast between Dev Kyle and Eric Wall. And I'm not talking shit to like Eric Wall or starting any battles there. He has he has his thoughts. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, like when you look at it's all, every successful crypto that's in the market today has some sort of incentive. It's either like an incentive-based system or it's based on demand if you're looking at smart contracts. So I think there's kind of a disconnect as far as what the market perceives of certain things. So for example, the monetization of time is not like it kind of goes over a lot of people's heads, honestly. So yeah, it's very interesting. So I so far things look pretty good. I'm not really. I would say basically I just look at even like the price charts, I'll just check in like every couple of days and just see, basically see where it's at. So
Mhm.
yeah, things there basically look pretty good. But just remember, it's really important with Pulse coming up that the more activity you have, the higher, like the more demand you have on the network, and that also does help out the p hex side as well. So that's why my recommendation was like if you end up um, taking care of a lot of this stuff before the snapshot takes place, you just get both, and then you don't have to speculate on one versus the other, and then things will just sort of figure it. The market will figure itself out over time. But that's the my
Yeah.
rule. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I agree with what you talk about when you mention because I kind of felt the same way too, and even though I wasn't the one that wanted to head up the the smart contract or whatever it was, but there is, like you said, a major difference between Hex and Pulse Chain, and with Pulse Chain we want to like with Hex there's been a lot of maximalism and bring your heroes here to die, and
Yeah, that's fine.
all this.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh
there,
no, go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine, but keep that in hex. Like the thing is, the
Yep,
battles, like these
exactly.
are different. These aren't the same battles. Like as Richard even mentioned on his streams, the two networks scale differently in terms of how like price appreciation works. So hex is used as a store of value. You're monetizing time. It has the whole game theory built around the T-shares, and Pulse Chain scales off demand. So if you push away developers, you're pushing away demand that would otherwise come into the network. So at the end of the day, when you're using decentralized exchanges on Pulse, on Ethereum, on any network, it's really on you to make your decisions as far as anything you're speculating on. Just realize that the market, if you frame it in from the reference of Pulse Chain, when you have all sorts of coins launching on Pulse Chain, just remember that everybody is playing the same game of trying to get more Pulse token out of certain coins that end up launching. I have no idea like if any of the coins will outperform Pulse token itself, but that's what you're up against in the market. That's generally what people use DEXs on Ethereum on, and probably most people end up sort of losing because they're rolling like their whole stacks into like a trade, which you can get wiped out in just a couple of weeks by like 50 to 70% if you make a bad move. So just know what the stores of value are in that ecosystem, and I would just play with smaller percentages if you're going to speculate on coins that are outside of either Hex or Pulse. That's just my recommendation for any speculations.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Pulse grows through network effect, and if people in the community are so like almost like the Bitcoin. I mean, I got it in straight away from the Bitcoin, toxic Bitcoin maximalists and stuff like that. Dollar cost, get your ass in here. I see you there. But anyways, you strayed away from them, right? And then I see like, oh, okay, we've almost become what is that toxic Bitcoin maximalist with the hexagons if we're not going to embrace Pulse Chain, which, like you said, it needs to be developed on. It needs to. Richard had even mentioned like a while back, so I don't know why people are bringing up these like arguments like they haven't heard them before. But yeah, you're going to have a copy of the Ethereum system state, the Safe Moon and all these other Ponzi's and stuff like that. Like that's not what is important. What is important is that the network grows, that it's utilized, and that we don't just have like a whole bunch of empty blocks like say BCH did.
Yeah, for sure. Like the whole thing, like it's so true because BCH, the network failed. So first off, BCH, there's already explanations from Richard as far as the faults with basically that airdrop being given to Bitcoin holders that didn't they got free coins, so they dumped it. So that was already a big problem. And two, they lost the battle to Bitcoin. They lost, and they got totally stomped and steamrolled this entire cycle so far. BCH has done terrible on the price chart. So and that I'm if somebody speculated on BCH, I'm not I'm just calling it for what it is. But yeah, I would say basically, with everything that's going on with the coins, just remember that general rules of thumb. If the guy is totally brand new and a no name launching some token on the, like, you don't have to speculate on stuff like that. Like, you don't have to speculate on that. You can make better plans when it comes to pulse chain speculation if you do speculate, and you can take your time on that. As I've said, it's everybody's playing the same game where everybody's just trying to get more pulse token, and the only one that at least is kind of separate from that's p hex, because we don't know what the hex to p hex relationship is right now. That's still an open question. But in terms of the coins that launched on the network, very similar to Ethereum, it's going to be versus getting more pulse token. And if you roll your whole stack, some people are going to do it. They're going to roll their whole stacks in, and they're going to lose like 50 to 70% on just one bad move. So low percentage bets when you speculate, and you won't get steamrolled on a DEX. So,
yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I guess while we're here, yeah, since we could plan for. So I'm probably going to be traveling this upcoming week for an undetermined amount of time. I'm just taking it by day. So once I figure that out, but depending on when I schedule that, we could set something up before I fly out, and then do kind of something similar, like with because Cabana and I are we're gonna set up another pod. It was really good. We just had a really good. There was a lot of things, like a lot of similarities, I guess, as far as how we're in the market. So really really cool things there. But yeah, I would definitely like to see, because I know you mentioned, like, when you first got into the market, your first coin that you bought was like basically like Litecoin back in like 2016 or 2017. So I know you've been around for a while.
Yeah, and yeah, I'd love to, right? Because that was the first time that I had heard of it when you'd mentioned that in the chat. And yeah, it'd be kind of cool to. I always like being able to, provide value if I can on other people's channels or podcasts and stuff like that. And I think it's really cool to be able to be innovative like that. But yeah, I mean, been around since like early 2017, something like that, and never thought that crypto was going to be such a rabbit hole. I mean, I just bought some Litecoin because I was into like precious metals at the time from like a coworker, and then turns out like I didn't look at it, my Coinbase, for like maybe a month and a half, and then it had tripled, and I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? Like, what triples in investment that quick? So that's kind of like my rabbit hole story for that. But yeah, you have to learn like what is legitimate stuff, and then what is kind of not vaporware, but what is like promise coins, or what is things that might not have the most utility and use case, but might just be hype.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I guess the thing is, through every bull market cycle, generally, like if you look at 2017, after the bull market, 88% of the coins got wiped out. It was like basically an asteroid hitting the Earth, and like most of the it was basically that level of extinction in the crypto market. It's probably to some extent going to happen again after this entire market cycle, but I don't think it'll be quite as high as last cycle in terms of how many coins get wiped out. But there's certainly a lot of things that, in my opinion, are not going to make it over a 5 to 10 year period. So I guess pick wisely. That's the only thing. It's hard, but yeah, I guess pick wisely if you're speculating on certain alts in the market. Most of them won't survive. Like, just saying, like stuff like just going off the list, like I'm just looking at random coins in the top like 100. There's number 88 is like Telecoin. That's probably gonna die. I don't even. Yeah, most of this. There's just gonna be a lot of junk that's not going to make it, but the stuff that does is gonna do pretty well. Network effects, super important. And then yeah, I guess just take it, learn over time. But I would say this is at least this is definitely a good community with a lot of knowledge in it, in the market in general. Like there's already branches to like other communities. Like I don't know if DC was on earlier. He works with a lot of the different communities. So there's a lot of different skills, I guess. I guess what I'm saying within the Hex community. Cabana's really smart. He's been in the market for a very long time. You know, bought mostly things like Bitcoin, Ether, perhaps other things. But yeah, I would say let's see. I'm just reading through some of the comments right now in the chats.
No, totally. Hopefully, copy.
Is this on your channel?
No. If this, believe me, if this was, I wouldn't have freaking rug pulled so heavily. No, this is definitely on copies, and that's why we were trying to get Dolikas in here. And I got a private message in the little. Oh, okay. He says, "Hold on." Okay. Well, anyways, yeah. Let me get back to the point of what you're saying. I definitely agree. Right? You can have community, because that's kind of what I experienced with Litecoin. Is it had a cool community. But did it have confidential transactions? Did it have all this other, BS development that was being spewed? No, it didn't. But it still had community, just like Cardano does. Even though it's like, when the hell are we going to have smart contracts? Like that just seems to be pushing the boundary forward. So you're definitely right. There can be like coins that just have community, coins that just have hype, and then there's coins that have both. And I think the ones that have both and that have product market fit can be a good use case after a while, but they just need to gain that S-curve adoption that everything else does.
Yeah, I don't hold any like ADA specifically, but I just don't really talk shit about ADA. There was a few times where I did. I made comments with like smart contracts or whatever, but the fact of the matter is like that ADA did awesome during this entire run so far. It did amazing.
Totally,
man.
ADA,
I mean, if you look at even, there's not many coins in this market that outperformed Ethereum during the run up. ADA like shit all over Ethereum during its run up, and I don't hold ADA. I'm just saying. I just look at the chart. It had really good price performance, but I would, if I had to speculate, if I had to guess, I think they're probably better at managing money relative to like the ETH Foundation that sold, I believe it was 35,000 Ether, close to $4,000. So that's a distribution that goes into the market. So, like when it comes to like let's say ADA, to really get a good understanding and comparing like ADA to even Ethereum, the I guess the foundation and how they're managing their money, to me, could play a big role in like the price appreciation too. Because Ethereum, it sucks that they dumped the price at 4K. It is what it is, but yeah, it's just there's competition for Ethereum now in the market. I still think Ethereum is going to have its place as a very secure, valuable network in the future, but ADA has done really well. I'm pretty neutral when it comes to their what ends up being delivered after they have smart contracts. So whenever they have smart contracts, whenever that is. So
Dolikas says fake news. He's calling you out. He's calling bullshit.
Well, that's because he's just saying fake news because he doesn't have a bag either. that's one of the regrets. I could have, like, that's definitely, I just look past it. I'm like, it is what it is. But had I just held on to my ADA, I would have done very, very well. So I'm not going to talk, like, Charles Hoskinson has a big following on Twitter. There's stuff he's doing that people believe in him. That's really what it kind of comes down to. We're in a game of chain wars, and quite frankly, I'm just at the point where I have bags of things I believe in, and I just don't care if people are trying to kill each other because I have bags, so I'll be good. I'll win the game.
Well, here's the thing: is like, I think Nerd Girl, she's like been pretty good about this, but like, for whatever reason, there's always like my sport team's better than yours. But especially within crypto, like, when you want to have sovereignty and you want to have cypherpunk ideals and stuff like that. You can't have this inner shit talking. Like, sure, you can to some extent, but it's not necessarily productive, right? If one person can succeed, the rest of the space might be able to come along with it. So when you mention, people like Charles in the Cardano community, I mean, yeah, there's definitely something there, and it's not smart when it comes to even like friendship, how to win friends and influence people. It's not smart to just like completely dump everything that they've tried to work on, right? So if you can kind of collaborate and work together, like you mentioned, you're not going to, if you try and count your losses, dude, like I just learned that from some people that I see in crypto. They're always counting their losses and like shoulda, coulda, woulda, and it's like, well, it didn't happen. So like quit living in this like false reality that's your false past, and like just what can you do now to maximize that future yield, future potential versus missing another one. So I see a lot of people doing that and then getting jealous and bitter that other people got gains, and you just gotta buckle down and see what's legitimate, what's not, be able to sift the gold through the tray and then pick your choice.
That's funny. I like that's really what it comes down to, is just jealousy over gains for the most part. So
projection, yeah, dude.
Yeah. So on that comment. So I mean, I guess after all, so here's the thing, like in crypto, there's a lot of economic energy at this point in crypto that could seriously change a lot of things when it even comes to politics. And the problem right now is, DC is such a troll. All right, so I was interrupted after there. So the value, I guess the economic energy in crypto is pretty well, it's spread out across all these different communities that just everybody has a misalignment on views as far as what their future is in this market. It's very clear. Like you see it on Twitter, it's tribal. It is what it is. That's just how humans have historically evolved. Like if you look at wildlife, it's literally the same thing. It's just how it is of things on the earth. But when it comes to politics, having a unified economic mass matters. Like that is important, because if everybody in this market can't converge on some kind of idea, this stuff can get very easily exploited by government. Like it's more so just choking off other people from entering the market or trying to create barricades from businesses. All that stuff has a huge impact. So there's times where it makes sense for people to try to kill each other, and then there's times where it makes sense for people to like kind of go more in a unified way to basically go against the common enemy. Because anything that's, let's say, outside of this market that's trying to hurt this market should be a common enemy for everybody that's involved in this space. And then you could go back to killing each other. That's when you can go back, because at least now there's already some other dragon that's trying to kill everybody in the market has been defeated, and you can go back to what everybody was originally doing. So that's kind of my thought on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree, right? If you have like a divide and conquer and the people that are supposed to be making a difference, kill them, kill everyone off before fighting like the final enemy, then it's just it's a lot easier for the goals not to get accomplished. So yeah, you definitely need, anonymity, fungibility, good community. You need crypto to be adopted and not just like brushed off as this like taboo thing. And so it can either go up from here or obviously, degrade and get more regulation and all that stuff. But the people like Richard that have participated in, say, like Richard and Vitalik that have participated in like, Tornado Cash and focusing on software that's going to like better improve the world. I think that is important for everyone to kind of focus on, that like those people were able to collaborate and kind of come to an agreement that, hey, this is what needs to be built. And so like you mentioned, we can do that with other communities and members from those communities as well. And we need to focus on like the bigger picture as opposed to like my coin versus your coin.
Yeah, I'm actually reading like, so I get there's a lot like, okay, so first off, a lot of people when it comes to, let's say, different types of coins in this market, this whole infrastructure bill is getting exploited because this market is filled with idiots. To just put it simply, like nobody can agree on anything. It's getting exploited, and it's seriously a risk for the U.S. And guess what? Now that cuts off a lot of liquidity that otherwise would have entered the market. So I just look at it as a growth of the overall asset class, and right now that is the battle that impacts everybody. I don't care if you're holding whatever coin you're holding. If you deem it as a promise coin, it fucks everybody that's in this market. So make no mistake, like it goes back to the whole thing. There's certain battles where there's already a common enemy that should be applicable to every holder in this market, and then there's that, and then you guys can go back, like everybody can go back to playing chain wars and then just trying to dominate like other chains. All of it's fine, but just realize that right now is not the time for that. There's this there's the political aspect that, again, it's this is kind of a pretty big deal as far as what's happening in the US right now.
So who is this stranger?
Oh, fuck yeah. Bang Bros is on. Yeah. About damn time, babies. Shit. What's going on, you guys?
Not much, dude. Good to see you, friend.
See you do too, man.
Talking stuff. Yeah.
Talking stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much interesting conversation stuff, and then it just went away. It's just like when I wanted to get in, I couldn't even jump in. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Where did Coffee go? The fuck?
I have no idea. He rugged for sure, dude. First time back in 5. Oh, okay.
There he is.
Got me a double cheese McDonald's.
Oh,
Did you get
delicious.
it
That's where I work
delivered?
now. I work
Yeah.
there now after the bear market.
It's cool.
Did Box Mining serve you some delicious?
Oh, too soon, bro. Too
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I work with him.
Yeah, you work with him.
We're on the night shift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, the night shift or the night shift?
I think you know what I mean.
Damn.
I think you know. What I mean.
Now, Box Mining to me looks like he works at Fry's Electronics. I don't know why, but just that's if I had to pick a job for him, where it's like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like not minimum wage, but you know what we're talking about. But yeah, I don't know. Me, I'd be working outside of Home Depot, I guess.
Wait, it's better than what?
He'll help you
But
find the right dongle.
let's just say we all go broke, right? Let's just say we all go broke. You know how the stereotypical, like, I'm gonna go work at a McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Well, like, I don't know. Like, let's just say, like, I'd be probably waiting outside trying to get a job outside of, I guess, Home Depot. Wasabi looks like he works at Radio Shack.
Is Radio Shack even still around? Or is
I don't know
that...
why, Brand, you look like you're gonna work at a car wash. I don't know why.
Hell yeah,
What about
man!
me?
Shit,
What about me? What about me?
You?
What about me?
Wait, give me a second. It's gonna come to me. Oh, fuck. Wait, no, that's mean. Hold up.
No, it's me.
I don't know, a movie theater? I don't know. You know those ushers? You know those ushers with the little hats? You know the little hats? Yeah, like,
I'm the guy that brought Bitcoin to AMC. Like, you guys know what would be a great idea?
Hexmax, like, I work at Olive Garden.
Bro,
we need to centralize our brokenness, you guys.
I'd be washing your car, dude.
Yeah.
what's wrong with Olive Garden?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. It's really good, actually. I mean, I like it.
I love it.
Sounds like Hexmax got the best deal.
Yeah, Olive Garden, all that endless breadsticks and shit. Damn, bro.
Yeah, those breadsticks are really good.
Yeah, they are good. They're fucking crack cocaine, man. That's not good. They're so horrible for you. They're so bad for you. So bad. Like each one is like, I think, was it 200 or 300 calories each stick?
Not bad.
Each stick. Yeah. Except you can't just have one.
Kidding.
That's the problem. It's just not. It's not like this a fat old stick like this. It's like 200 calories. Nah, some little like rinky dink little I don't know,
Ricky Dink.
Little rinky dink, little fucking tipsy stick of a fucking thing and shit. Like you can't just have one, you know. Trust
Like
me,
the,
I used to be. I'm a fat boy at heart and stuff.
Like
Richard.
the Coffee hates his job at Blockbuster. Yeah, I worked at the very last Blockbuster,
Blockbuster.
Before they closed. You know, I was at the last
Oh,
one.
what's the shittiest jobs you guys ever had?
Caddy at a country club. Believe it or not,
Oh, really?
being a caddy is not a fun job when you're young. When you're 13 years
Yeah.
old, before you can legally work. the bags weigh
Yeah.
more than I did, dude. I was like 90 pounds. The bags weigh more than I did.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like my first job was like washing dishes at a Italian restaurant when I was like 14, but it honestly wasn't too bad, dude. Because like I've always been kind of like introverted and like, hey, dude, I can do my own work by myself. I don't need someone breathing down my neck. So it's kind of just like washing dishes and stuff like that. But yeah, dude, I guess that was like the shittiest, I guess. And no, actually, no, that's not true. Just because that was my first doesn't mean it was my shittiest. My shittiest, dude, was this job that I got fired from, like maybe like 2 months later.
Who fired you?
Cold calls, dude. Yeah, it was like
You were cold calling people?
dude. It was like, I guess my dad thought it was a good idea. Learn not to trust him, you know. But it was like this, like cold calling, like selling products to like real estate agents of all people. It's like, man, those people are busy, let alone trying to sell them a product. And so, anyways, you had like a certain like monthly recurring revenue that they had a goal of, and you know, I just couldn't make that. I made like a few sales, but I'm not that kind of personality that's like, you know, fuck cold calling. So glad I just got Hex and the other job that I have currently.
Yeah.
Dude, my first job, I was mixing cement,
Ooh.
basically.
That's intense, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
it was rough, and they're making me take these wheelbarrows, dude, and I just felt like my arms were gonna fall off. Like by the end of it, like fuck, that was hard, man. It was like wheelbarrowing cement. Like literally, we're making cement in a wheelbarrow, then moving it, then taking that wheelbarrow, and then wheeling it up. They always and like what and that's not hard enough. The hard part was they would make you like they always for some reason, at least like this is how they did it, is that they had this stupid little piece of wood, like it's like this long, like and they make you like do like some fucking like. They make you in order to go up a hill or something. The wheelbarrow can't make it by itself. They put a piece of wood there, and then you're supposed to go really fast like this, and you're like fucking making sure the wheel doesn't fall off the fucking thing, because if it does, you'll fucking tip over with the cement. Stupid. I hated that.
Like you mentioned, like logically, you would think if you had the same amount of water to mix the cement, you would rather do the downhill stuff on the 2x4 or whatever it was, and then mix the water, as opposed to having like the cement that's, you know, now cooling and drying and stuff like that.
Yeah, but smoothie, I wasn't getting paid at all. Like I wasn't getting paid.
That's not a job then, bro. It's like,
It's
just
just,
like-
like, I did it for a while, dude. It was like a lot of time. Like, I mean,
Hey, man.
we did get some money later on and stuff, but like, I ain't gonna go into it. We fucked up someone's car.
McDonald's chicken nuggets, right?
Yeah.
I also worked as a lifeguard. I was a lifeguard for a while. That was pretty
Nice,
fun.
dude. That sounds legit.
It was
How
fun.
long for?
Well, like 3 years.
Nice, dude. That's a good amount of time. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Lots of
It was
babes.
nice. There were girls there. Yeah, that's why I liked it.
Yeah,
I was in
exactly.
high school, and I just wanted to, yeah. But I mean, it paid like minimum wage, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Hex
up?
Max
Oh,
says,
Hex
"Oh, I
Max.
see nuggets."
Well, I asked for the mighty hot sauce, but they gave me sweet and sour, so I'm a little disappointed. Yeah.
You had one job.
Life is hard, right? Life is hard.
Definitely.
So what are we talking about? This is like a crypto show or what?
Yeah, supposedly, man. But hey, man, shit. We gotta talk about some other stuff sometimes. I think we were talking about how cunty and how a lot of people in the Hexagon community are acting retarded. You know, just the
Yeah, dude.
the normal,
Let's go over that.
A lot of them are.
real boomer-esque. I've got to say that, a little boomer-esque. You know.
Just be nice, man. Just be nice. Don't you know.
Okay, I
Treat
won't
others
burn
like
it.
you want to be treated.
Okay.
Well, there's
Fucking
to
cunts.
his point, like there's a difference
No,
between.
no, yeah.
like,
I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to all the people.
Yeah.
no,
No, I mean
there's
right
a
now.
difference-
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, man.
just real quick, between constructive criticism and then being like, fuck you, we're like the toxic Bitcoin maximalists, and like we're becoming what we most hated in the first place. Like, don't become that, especially with your own fucking community. Like, if even if you don't agree with someone's idea, you don't have to just lash out and do all these other things. There's, at the end of the day, there's communication, right? And there's a way of doing it properly, and then there's like communicating with your emotions. And so I definitely agree with dollar cost. You gotta be able to realize that Pulse Chain is different than Hex. Like, sure, you can be a Hex maximalist and all that stuff and whatever, but you got to realize Pulse Chain is completely different, and Hex is just one of the 10,000 cryptocurrency that's built on top of it. So you need to realize that when you're like pushing away innovation and people to come in and build on the network, that looks bad not only on that network, but for your financial value of that bag going up.
Right. So I mean, I don't want. Okay, I mean this. Like, okay, how can I say this without being a dickhead? Okay. All right, I'm just gonna say it. Okay. So, okay, I know Motley isn't the greatest representation of us Hexicans out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I love Motley.
Oh, he's the worst.
He's the fucking worst though, but he's still one of us, you know. And like, he decided to get out of his. He got his crayons out, and he give it the old Hex college try. And you know, he's trying to do something, and you know, he got shit on for it. You know, he took his drawing to mommy. Mommy said it was ugly. Took it to daddy. Daddy said ugh, and then he started crying in his room and stuff. And then like he told us over the internet what happened. And, you know, and then you know what his mom and dad did? His mom and dad posted the fucking artwork on Twitter and then started shitting on him, on his own mom and dad. Wow. And like, it's like, you guys need to stop this Motley hate. You know?
Wait, what happened?
I don't know.
Was it really that bad?
No, it wasn't. Just the community. People are being stupid.
Wait. Was it like a dirty drawing? Like, did he draw boobies?
No, he didn't draw any. Oh my god, bro! I was making a joke. No. He was. He was
I'm joking too, dude. I'm fucking joking too. God damn it.
But you're being so monotone, bro. It's like I
know, dude. Tell. I mean, I'm sorry, bro. I'm just like really sarcastic. A lot of people don't get that. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm just fucking with you.
Marty, how do I get rich on Hex? If you have to ask, Marty, sorry.
Pretty much, you just buy it, you make a ladder, and you stake it out. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that.
OG. I went to college with Marty.
Oh really? Oh shit, cool.
Yeah, he was my roommate in college. Yeah, I've had him on the show before. But,
oh shit.
But apparently he doesn't know what Hex is. So,
you know, quick question for dollar cost, because when I've learned from my staking and whatnot, if anything, I would have done like maybe biannually at most, but probably just annually if I was going to do, say, like a 15-year ladder. Do you have any thoughts or ideas on, you know, I know some people back in the day have gone as far as like daily or weekly and stuff like that. But
shout out your boy.
Yeah, I know. Slight jab. But any thoughts on like what would be your minimum for like the returns that Hex is doing and the cost of gas to end stake?
I mean, 50,000 Hex stakes probably. I would probably, because
for how long? 6 months, a year, something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
10K a year for 5 years.
Okay.
I don't know. It depends on your time horizon. If you don't want to wait that long, maybe go. I mean, you could do 25 for 2 years, like whatever.
If you're a gambling man, right? If you're a gambling man, you could probably do smaller Hex stakes. So let me see what 10,000 Hex is. 10,000 Hex today is $1,300. So you can do a 10,000 Hex stake starting 3 years from now. And in 3 years from now, we should have ETH 2.0. We should have that. At least optimistic rollups and ZK rollups on main chain. Even if they supposedly said they're going to have it in 23, that's a lie. You know they're going to lag it out to 24, 100%. So if you do a 3-year stake, you should be okay, at least on the gas side over here. And then maybe from there do 10,000 at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, I like quarterlies. Those are pretty dope. So you always have some Hex coming out sometime, you know, because I feel like one Hex, because I know a lot of people that just did one massive Hex stake every year. I think that's a lot. That's a lot. That's
I mean, that's what I was asking.
15 years for one big payday. Like the whole point of a ladder is because like we're all greedy. Like I'm greedy. I do biannual, but sometimes like to fill in the gaps, I do quarterly too. And
yeah, you can't never sell
the wrong way. But yeah, I mean, I want a little payday every once in a while. Like I don't just want to wait, sit on my ass 15 years and like pray, and be poor for 15 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is the one thing I don't agree with, like Kareem and in the beginning and stuff. Like, it's just he didn't say this early on. Now he has said this. So shout out to Kareem. He's a cool dude. Kareem the Dream. But he was pushing the whole 5-5-5 thing. Totally okay, amazing. But yeah, you need a ladder, right? Where if you just heard like a clip of him, right? He'd be like Kareem. He'd be saying you gotta do the 5-5-5, 10 years and out plus. That's a terrible idea for most people. That's bad. But then later on, he said like you should ladder, of course. Then okay, cool. Because like one cool thing a lot of people have been saying lately, which I usually start from now till the end, to 15, where some people say start at 15 and go backwards, which is not terrible either.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you done? Are you done with your daily stakes? No, bro. I always unstake it every day, dude. Gas ain't nothing but a thing for me, baby. Shit.
Ain't nothing but G-thing.
Ain't nothing but a thing. But yeah, dude, I saw the clip, or I didn't see the clip. I saw that Motley posted it or something that like they talked about his idea on the Discord syndicate and they like shot it down or something.
What idea?
What? The pool. Yeah, so he was.
Oh, the pool idea.
The pool idea.
Yeah.
And something that was really funny though, I didn't hear a lot of people shitting on Dev Kyle when he decided to make a DCA contract into the AA for everybody either.
Yeah, that's true.
That magically was okay for everybody. Magically,
I've been so out of the loop, man. I've been so like I haven't really paid attention to a lot of this shit. But like people, I mean, we gotta like think a little bit before we just judge something. You know what I mean? Like the pool idea is good if it's executed right. It's great. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's the whole
if you
point
can maximize.
You guys know that the whole point of Bigger Pays Better was so that people could pool their funds together. The intention was not that one whale would have enough to make BPB worth anything. The original intention was that in the future, near or far, there might want to be a syndicate of people that would conglomerate their funds together to take advantage of that. And they would have shorter stakes with a larger amount. So, I mean, we've had 2 implementations of that so far. The first one went over terribly. People shot all over it because they're like, "Ooh, it's new, it's scary," blah blah blah. Rather than like talk about, "Oh, well, let's consider what could go wrong." Like, let's have a healthy conversation. It's like, no, evil, bad, new thing, bad. No, but like you got to realize like it's the whole hex pool thing is a genuine idea. I mean, yeah, we did have a scam version of hexpool.xyz. Don't go there. Do not go there. It'll take all your money. But it's the point of BPD. That was why it was put in there.
Right. It's a 10% bonus. That's a lot of extra hex, you guys. That's a lot. That makes sense, especially as t-shirts get rarer and rarer. It gets harder to get those t-shirts.
They are.
That 10% is nice.
Yes. Dude. That those t-shirts are so. There's a misconception on the t-shirts that people have this, and I say this. I incorrectly had this idea too, where when you mint your coins after, let's say, 1 to 2 years out or however long, and if you restake it for the same length, there's this incorrect idea that you'll be able to get close to the same amount of t-shirts that the original stake was. That is actually not right. And I found out actually not too long ago, for the same stake length, it was about like a 10 to 15% decline as far as the number of t-shirts. So you actually have to boost up to actually get like more, to get quote unquote, you're not actually really getting more t-shirts, you're just staking for longer, I guess. But yeah, the amount is also going to start to decrease more dramatically as the longer stakes start to come out. Like that's a lot of yields off those stakes that are going to pump basically the price on the t-shares. So we haven't really seen that yet. I don't know when it's possible to run simulations on it. You can look at the current staking ladders and then project out what that might look like. But yeah, we're probably going to see sometime this decade the price on the hex per t-shirt start to go up much faster and faster. So it's going to start. It kind of looks like to me it's basically almost like a supply. There's not really. There's just going to be a certain amount left in the system that everybody's going to be fighting over.
What's Ash talking about? His wallet is trash. Load it up if you don't believe me. I don't know. It's free to download. Oh. Hello? Yo, is anyone there? Wait, am I getting trolled? Am I getting trolled? What the fuck was that? I literally thought my audio went. I was like, holy shit. All right. Cool. Yeah, it's free to download. One of these things.
There we go. I'm back.
Hello.
I'm like, everyone was so fucking quiet. I was like, Jesus, what's going
Were you
on?
guys talking shit? I was
No,
my
no,
headphones like cut out and I got they rug pulled me.
I
God damn
was
you,
just-
Steve Jobs.
I was just purposely not answering DC so that he thought his mic was broken.
Shut up, you fucking red shirt.
Yeah.
Ultimate troll. I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
Fatal Fury says, honest question. Did you end stake some of the hacks? If yes, how much interest did you lost due to gas fees? Well, when I end my stakes, yeah, I've had to end stakes before, of course, because I've set a staking ladder. And usually when I end a stake, it costs me like over $200, which is total bullshit. So I can see why people are priced out of the system. You know, it's really, really, really garbage. So for a new person coming in, you don't want to have to pay $200 to unstake, you know, whether that's 6 months from now, 1 year from now, 18 months from now, whatever. But that's what Pulse Chain is for. Pulse Chain is to give Hex its own ecosystem.
Yeah, the gas fee typically, at least for me, has been about like 0.25%, something like that. Something like that. Is on like my regular stakes. I've only had one stake where it was like 5% because the gas was like. I've paid like $800 to end stake one time. That shit was stupid, but it just is what it is. I've been lucky. Most of my stakes have just because of the 2-week feature. You can sort of play the game with it a little bit and kind of wait, see if the gas goes down a bit for unstaking.
Yeah.
But if your stake's big enough, like, what's the point? Who cares? Basically.
Yeah. If it's more, yeah. I mean, I think your stake should be more than $200 if you can afford that. But like, you should.
No,
really
I
not
mean the
have
gas fee to unstake.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
like, assuming the gas fee on stake is like $200.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, that's a problem with Ethereum, right? That means all the small guys are going to be priced out because, I mean, you can't avoid that, right? That's the problem with having a consensus network token also being a store of value. People are hoarding this token that's supposed to be for transaction fees. That was never intended to be a store of value, but now it's both, right? People are hoarding Ethereum because they're speculating on it, which goes to show you, like, philosophically, if you give somebody a coin to speculate on, they will speculate on it. So there will be a value component and a speculation component to the price of anything. And I mean, Ethereum, hypothetically, you know, according to Vitalik, should never be over, what do you say, like 4 cents a transaction or something like that? 14 cents. And clearly it's much higher than that. And most of that price is derived from the fact that the USD price of Ether is incredibly high. And it's a victim of its own success. So again, what Pulse Chain is doing is it's addressing the problem in a different route than layer 2 solutions. It's actually addressing the problem in an interoperable layer of layer 1 solutions, which will be bridged between each other. In the meantime, we're waiting for the layer 2 solutions to develop a better user experience. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Have any of you guys been following any of the layer 2 stuff on it? I followed it for a little while before. I'd say I probably stopped following it around. I took a break around May, and then I was like, I'll come back in a couple months.
Optimism is basically having like a raffle system in a way where like they're like, okay, if Optimism's like letting its dev tools out so people can play around with Optimism now, and they're having something where like, okay, whichever projects we allow to use Optimism first, we're pretty much giving them an unfair advantage.
Yeah, right.
But you bet your motherfucking ass Synthetics is up in that bitch first, though. 100%.
That's been known. That's been a known fact for a long time.
Known fact.
Uniswap too. Uniswap is they've got their POC. Is it a POC or is it like now an official live network? They've been running live for a while.
Wait. You talking about V3?
With Optimism. Yeah, V3 and Optimism.
No, it's not live. Not yet.
It's not live yet. Okay.
No, not yet. Later on. So like Arbitrum and like all that stuff, Arbitrum and Optimism should be live in the next 6 months. So by the end of quarter, no, wait, let me see. Yeah, by somewhere time Q1, they should be live, which is cool. So the only three I know for sure that are going to have optimism and everything like that is going to be obviously Aave, Synthetics, and Uniswap, and then from there it's just going to be everything else is going to be. I don't know who's going to be on, but that's what mostly you need to use. It would be really nice to use Aave because then this is a centralized version of Celsius basically, and you just borrow on your stuff on your LTV. Except it's like so cutthroat. If it hits that liquidation number, you out of here, bro. It's gone. But it does. I have heard of a very interesting strategy that this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to do this. All right, but if you borrow on assets, that's loaned income. You don't pay taxes on loaned income. Yeah. And I have heard if you do a 99% LTV and you get liquidated on that loan, you're just left with nothing but loaned income. I don't know. This is just something I heard, I don't know if that's pretty gray space, but that's what I heard, That's it. I don't know. I mean, I was like, if Mr. IRS person was like, I lost my loan. I got under collateralized. I took, I risked my, it went down 1%. I got liquidated. I lost my 1%, and then, yeah.
Rough stuff, man. Rough stuff. Yeah.
If Celsius did that, bro, I'd be amazing, bro. It's like
I remember you talking about that the other day on like Moon Gang, and I was thinking about it, like, holy fuck, dude, that's like the 133x leverage, that people do on Binance or whatever the hell it is anymore, like FTX or KuCoin, like, and
but do you understand? Do you understand what I just said though? Like, do you know what I mean by it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh, okay. If it works, bro, that'd be the loopholes of loopholes, dude. Holy shit! Like, Brand, all you like, let's just say, okay, let's just say you had to pay $100 in taxes, and you had $100, and well, actually, I guess it wouldn't work technically. I guess it's like if you have crypto that you haven't sold yet, you would you're right in line there. So so normally, right, with LTVs and stuff, you can go 80%, which is pretty degenerate. Then there's 50%, 33%, and 25%. So it's basically a 25% LTV is like taking like a 1.25x long, basically. And then a 99% long would be like doing a 1.99 something, or it's actually higher than that. Actually, technically, it's like doing I think 100x long actually. On a 99% LTV.
Yeah, that's intense. Yeah,
it's intense, but
I see. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, it's gone now. Oh well, at least I still have this loaned income over here. Man, that sucks. That sucks, bro. Celsius sucks. I got liquidated on my 99% LTV. Shoot, man. Web3's doing it right now.
Well, let's actually go back to the whole liquidation thing, because so if you take so I get the whole idea where you use loans to get around like the tax rules, and it is legal, like
which is legal in all 50 states. In all 50 states.
If you get liquidated on a Celsius loan or wherever you're taking the loan, if you're using a smart contract on Ethereum and you get liquidated, then you lose like all your collateral. So
correct.
So I guess I don't quite, because like to me you're getting wiped out over.
Okay. I'm not trying to explicitly say it. Okay. Okay. So let's just say I have $100,000 of Hex in this magical world I could borrow on Hex.
Okay.
And I want to sell. I want to sell that Hex, but I'm gonna owe a lot of taxes. Shit. So I borrow on a 99% LTV. So I take 99,900 and some change.
God, okay.
And I borrow. It's loaned income, and I hope I don't get liquidated. But then I just withdraw
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
The bank obviously
Wait, you
sees its
can't-
loaned income.
Can't I thought you can't do that though I thought you could only do like a 25% LTV.
It's a joke. I'm just saying if it was allowed, if you could.
You saying you're making these smart contracts or something?
I don't know. We'll see what's going. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually, it is. I mean, by the rules.
This is just some degenerate thoughts I've had. I'm just you just see you see a platform. It's like 50%, 33%, 25, 99. It just jumps to 99.
Yeah. I'm just picturing you like in this you're doing like this like tax consultation. You're like, hey, you want to know a secret?
Not tax advice, you
Yeah.
guys. This stuff doesn't even exist. This stuff doesn't even exist. And it would technically because the regulatory stuff, only a Celsius or some sort of a basically an institution, some sort of a bank that deals with like that deals with equities and stuff like that, or some sort of housing thing or something. It has to be either a really official bank or something like Celsius or a BlockFi that could actually do some type of loan like this, because technically a DeFi, because a lot of DeFi protocols are kind of gray space right now. The laws may not completely apply, but for an entity that is following all the rules, it could work. It could work. Yeah. It's even the thing is I don't know if it would work. So technically, I'm just saying, my ninjas, you go out here and you look and you find, okay, I want you to come back to me. DM me, dollarcostcrypto.com or dollarcostcrypto on Twitter or on YouTube or whatever. Just hit me up everywhere, you guys. Search the world. But okay, so technically, if I had to choose projects that are going to be institutional grade, which I know for a fact that are, it's going to be Compound. That's institutional grade. That institutional money is being siloed into it right now through funds. The other one's Aave, which also has an institutional fund where hedge funds and family offices can essentially jump into a private client portal where they can earn yield in DeFi yield with their money in a safe pool where they won't get rugged. And then the third player would be, what's the third player? I think
Hex.
Yeah, but through Singapore and stuff. Yeah, through Hex Grayscale.
I don't know. I just tuned in. What are we talking about?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
Well,
crypto?
DC's talking about
Genius
by the
shit.
Tax advice.
Fuck you. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Wrong.
I'm just
Man,
kidding.
wrong.
It's like this is how you live in California. Wink, wink.
Fuck off.
I mean, I would never do that personally, but
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, I did just miss the greatest talk. And on what did I miss? Now you guys get me feeling all FOMO. What the fuck did I miss? Say it again.
That's why on the intro I'm like the fat dude with all the coins and stuff. Those aren't coins. Those are moves, you guys. Those are move tokens on the board of life.
That's all Doge under there. I know that's all Doge.
Yeah.
Dollar Cost has always been very good about like strategizing what is the ultimate plan for, this or that and stuff like that. So, got to give him credit, man. Credit where credit's due. Nice game theory. Just like Richard, he's got like a masterpiece of a chessboard and trying to think multiple moves ahead. Similar to yourself, man. You guys think alike?
You should see Richard Hart dissecting one of my ideas, like on the 24-hour live stream. I forgot where it is. I'm kind of mad at Richard a little bit because he waited. He got into the 24-hour live stream on the Discord Syndicate. He waited until we were 23 or like 22 hours in, just tired as fuck. Then he jumped in when we were all like, "We're sure."
I remember. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're like, I wonder what Richard's like. We're all fresh and preppy and stuff in the first 2 hours. Like, yeah, man, it'd be really cool. And Richard comes on, and then it was like 5 o'clock. Richard's gonna be on any minute, and then it's like, just kept going and going and going until like all of us, literally Hexo and RG were like, tying up the chair.
Man, those
And,
are old days for sure.
Oh yeah, those are the good old days back when we were kumbaya. Yeah, kumbaya.
But
you know.
did Richard say anything like super important in that thing that I need to go back to and like do?
Yeah. Basically, he said there's some good like. All right, so I had come up with the idea for encapsulated stakes and some sort of a bond system.
Okay, yeah.
For and I brought it up to him on the 24 hours, and he said, well, he said there is some good stuff for it, but then he said some negative stuff, and then later on, somebody said they were going to make it, and then Richard got pretty positive on it, and then it's disappeared.
Well, no, somebody did make it.
Yeah. Is it?
So
What happened with it?
So there were also two implementations of this, right? So the initial one was received poorly because, again, the townspeople did not have all the education necessary.
The townspeople.
They grabbed their pitchforks. They grabbed their pitchforks and they said, "Be gone, witch." And then later on, Firebun came along. He made a little bit more, I guess, elegant version, simpler version. And the idea was always good. Like Richard Hart, I always agreed that it was a decent idea, but obviously there are pros and cons, right? The main thing that I think people freak out about is, well, if stakes are encapsulated, that devalues my T shares, and I'm greedy, and I don't want you to devalue my hex. That's not at all what it does. It's not at all. You create a secondary market, and if anything, a secondary or tertiary effect of creating a secondary market is more attention towards the base layer. So I think it's a net positive. I think it's a net positive if done right. I think the first version that a couple of smart developers made might have not been the best version due to the fact that there were fees to get in and to sell, and you could only sell a stake in hex, which there are limitations, right? And there's always trade-offs. In every engineering system, there's trade-offs that you have to make. So nothing is going to be perfect, but I think to gather the troops and gather your pitchforks and try to oust somebody for trying to innovate is usually not a good idea.
Yeah. I would say that was the only negative of Hex, which I was saying, like, even for the beginning is like, we're done. Yes, it's literally immutable. It's fucking dope. But there was a certain point in Hex where like it was just like, I think I'd heard everybody.
That's when the price goes sideways, bro.
Yeah,
I
know.
Sideways, everyone gets like so fucking like, ooh, like. They're at each other's throats, dude, because there's nothing going on. It's like, just stake it and chill, bro. Stake, chill, and build. Stake, chill, and build. And build the ecosystem that you want. And if people are negative to your ideas, then let them actually have a reason why they're being negative. Let the ideas compete, but don't just let, again, just the peanut gallery say, oh, new thing bad because it new bad. I don't understand. Bad. Like, have a reason. Have an educated debate about it.
No, you're right.
That's my rant. I'm done.
I feel you. That shit cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm multitasking over here. I'm clicking buttons.
Hey, did you guys know that somebody, I won't tell you who yet, because I don't know if they want me to say, made a Hex book, a Hex tutorial physical book that they're selling on Amazon.com. Amazon.com for $5.
Was that you?
No.
Oh.
But I will be promoting it probably. I got to read the book first. I got to like open it and make sure it doesn't say like go buy Wise or something like that. But like, I got to like I'm sure it's going to be good.
Years from now, I'm going to end up making a Hex historical book. Like there's going to be old picture of us black and white and stuff. Like
it should be like one of those coffee table books, with like there's some colorized pictures and like there's some old like live stream screenshots and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make a really good documentary about Hex. I've always thought that.
I'm doing it. Yeah. You gotta let me be in there. Then say some fucking real shit because I know everyone's gonna glamour it up and shit. Say some lies. Yeah. Like fuck no, I'm gonna fucking throw you motherfuckers off the cliff.
I've heard that there actually is a from someone that there might be like documentary in the works, maybe that they're gonna fly out to Richard and then see if it's a good fit or not. But I agree with Coffee, right? Like, yeah, but just like with anything, like with Hex or the Hexicans, like it's always like that hero story, and like that David versus Goliath type deal. And it's definitely like that with the Hexicans. I mean, shit. You look at some like the Hex 2020 Rewind, and it's like, all right, well, you can like shove it in your face too much, but hey, we were on the right side of history, So it's kind of cool to have that right side of history thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
dude.
I think they should really like interview everybody, kind of like I'm almost thinking of like the Fire Festival documentary, but like not that ends in like a bad way, but just like
Right.
one of those documentaries that everyone's got such a different perspective on like what actually happened. It's like that would make a really good mashup of like
the whole
an hour
story
and
is
a
like,
half.
dude, Wasabi was such a fucking dick, dude. He was-
I always hated that coffee faggot. Like, fuck you.
What? Wow, that was strong. That was strong.
I could see somebody out there saying that.
Yeah. Dude, I remember telling you back in the day, Coffee, why you keep leaving? Keep streaming, homie. You'd be the biggest dude in Hex, dude. I remember telling you that. Like,
the
I think,
biggest dudes in Hex.
you know what? Let's take Crypto Coffee off.
I am big. I'm one of the.
I
literally
bro,
one
I
of the
know. I'm
biggest
just
dudes in
fucking with you, bro. But you know what I
Hex.
mean.
Oh fuck, bro! You want?
Fuck, just take the compliment, bro. Just take the
No, bro.
compliment.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not anything like the Fire Festival. Obviously, Hex is just like Hex is like Lollapalooza, bro. It's like Ultra music festival.
Yeah.
Up into the
Man,
right side of history.
We had some really genius thoughts, like in terms of stuff we couldn't like do, but we wanted to do. But man, we were really, 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 really misinformed. Like Jesus Christ! In terms of not like what Richard was saying, it's just we didn't know what the fuck we were talking about in the beginning. Like all of us, all the OGs, bro. We were bad. Like,
dude, at one time I literally made a video saying I was gonna try to make a staking ladder to time the next bull market, and then that was it.
Yeah,
like
I remember
my
that.
stakes were only gonna go up like 2 or 3 years, and I was like, oh wait, that's pretty stupid. Never mind. Like, never mind. I want longer stakes now. So,
This is kind of
yeah,
random, but just
whoa, holy shit! What's up?
just
dude.
since I have the opportunity, there's some lady that, first off, I thought that this was not going to be wood, but that it was going to be like ceramic or some sort of like, glass plate type deal. But anyways, I'm glad that it's wood because it's not going to shatter in my hands. But the point is this lady does, like, I'll have to link people to it later, but bought this, sorry about this, I'm kind of fucking this up.
Dude,
but,
that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
I like the black and gold because, and that says exclusive, but
Take the plastic
before,
off.
I was gonna say I need to hang it up and then take it off, But the point is kind of cool to buy some, Hex stuff as always.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty fucking cool.
I know that was not related at all to what you guys were talking about.
You're like, look at my shiny new thing.
pretty much. Hex flex.
Dude, there's so many clips, dude, people can put in. So like, it's just hopefully we just don't look too old in the documentary. Can you imagine we look so busted? So how old we are compared to ourselves in the old videos. How busted we look.
Hex has aged me, dude. Crypto has aged me. I mean, even 1
Yeah.
year ago, dude. Look at me 1 year ago. Look at me now.
I was
You guys
Chad,
stress
like,
me out, bro.
I was
You guys
Chad, like.
fucking- From a virgin to a Chad. I've actually
in less
lost my
than
virginity.
365 days.
I found Hex and I actually lost my virginity.
What?
Hell yeah. Pulses for days.
Oh,
You can make it a timeline. It's like day 1, day 500, day 550, through the whole. You can progress it through the life ladder. Or you can
imagine it's
rebuy
like
it.
Day
From a
one?
Chad to a virgin.
day 500, day 1000, day 4. It's just like you're going back in your chair. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
but
Yeah, man, it's hard to have a business these days, man. It's hard. Whenever you try to do something important, it takes a lot of work.
you're still working, bro.
Emotional, mental. I'm still working. I'm working for Hex now, full time.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. In case you didn't know.
Don't let coffee fool you, bro. This bro's load. No, no, but you know what I just started noticing lately? Like this is the first. This is something like me and you and a bunch of other people were saying in the beginning. We were saying that there was going to be like in the future one day. We even said in some retarded shit like one day. We were literally being this animated about it. Like one day in the future, man, there's gonna be people lying that they were day one Hexagons, and or like like
And now there are.
they're
And now
supposed
there
to
are.
be. Dude, there's like I'm like questioning some people right now. Like we're legitimately like, where the fuck were you, bro? Like
Bro.
what?
I know what you mean, dude. Yep,
Listen,
yep, yep.
I have never
Yeah,
seen more fake women with bikini pictures. Trying
Same,
to take
dude.
advantage. Trying to
Yeah.
take advantage of our good
Yep.
Mexican friends.
Well, dude, and there's people that
Mexicans.
like Dollar Cost mentions. There's people, same thing. Not going to name any like speculations, but people that are like, oh, day one OG Hexagon. Well, where the fuck were you for the past 600, 500,
Yeah.
something days? Where the hell were you? Oh, it only took you 600 days for you to like, mention that you're on Twitter in a day, one OG Hexagon. Like, show me your
Yeah, then you
steaks,
look
dude. I
like-
posted my steaks the other day. Like, man, fuck you. Like,
And then you look like Twitter user since June 2021. It's like, okay, bro. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Bristology says, coffee question. As a full-time Hexagon, do you cash out a little every month or a lot every single month and then nothing for a long while? No, Bristology, I do literally what I teach people to do. I cash out a little every month, my staking ladder, and I restake the rest. And I actually get more T-shares. I lengthen my average time, believe it or not. So no, Briz, I don't fuck people over. Terrible question. Weber.
Let me just say
Okay.
something real quick. It's a good feeling as like, I went to lunch with RG3 one time and I was like, dude, I got way too many steaks like after big payday, like, for whatever the year was. And anyways, now I like and staked some of those at 50% and then had restake them before the big payday. Got like a 2.5x on my T-share. And it's like, man, like it really is about the shares that Coffee mentions and that everyone else redundantly mentions, but in a good way, where it's like, man, this really is the generating, the money printer, as Well says.
This faggot in the fucking chat.
Sorry, bro. You give him the old blockaroo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
no.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah. Well,
Like, oh, you're providing value in this space, and let me just shit talk you. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Don't buy
work
it.
did you ever do, buddy? Like, nah,
Don't buy
dude,
it.
get out of
just
here.
don't buy it.
You
it's
ain't
not
that guy,
good.
pal. You ain't that guy.
Yeah.
You should have got
That's
that
the
one.
so ridiculous, man. So many of these people, they love to be like little keyboard warriors and just, armchair a quarterback from their fucking keyboard, like I mentioned. And it's like, what good have you done? Like, anyways, it's just one of those things that, like, don't project your insecurities on people that are actually making a difference in this world and making a difference in the crypto space just because you hate your life so much,
Yeah, that was savage.
That's
Damn,
all
Dan.
I'll say.
Dan,
No
tell us
more.
how you real feel. Tell us how you really feel, bro.
Fuck that guy, dude, man. Shit, come on.
Hex Max says the Hex Chad flipped the script. When you got thoughts sliding into your DMs that you made it. Mom,
Yeah.
boys, we made it. Thank you, Matt.
The higher the price goes, the hotter the chicks are getting. But
Cashed out
wait.
some big
Let me
fund.
restructure this statement. Hold up. I'm just gonna leave it there. Like I was gonna, no matter which way I'm gonna flip, it's gonna sound bad. Like I don't want to show on people. Hold up. But just the price is going up, and I'm starting to see thoughts. Like the higher, I'm gonna be shocked at what kind of fucking bluesies we got coming in at like $2 hex. Like I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, I just got married.
Yeah.
The more money you have, the more that they come in and try and infiltrate, man. It's I'm a big fan of DC when it comes to stuff like this. Like, man, and same thing with like Richard, right? You gotta protect your wealth. I mean, don't. Same thing with Funding Jim, Gary. Put your stuff in an LLC or some sort of like entity if it's not already. Like, you don't want to get sued and then get screwed over.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Coffee, I
Anybody
want to hug
tired?
you, bro.
Anybody tired? I want to give you a big hug.
Yeah.
Let's hug it out. Hey, man. It's past my bedtime over here, guys. It's past my bedtime. I got a long day of shilling hacks to do tomorrow. And
Nice.
All right, man.
Good deal.
you're welcome, everybody. You're welcome for pumping your bags. And
Great stream, man.
great stream. We've been going for 2.5 hours.
Welcome back.
DC, good to see you. Yeah, I feel like I'm back.
Heck yeah.
I'm back at it. Back
Well,
at it like
well,
a crack addict.
Yeah. Did we fix the audio thing with the intro, right? Or not yet?
There's an audio thing?
Yeah.
It was sound copyright. on
Yeah,
the
copyright thing.
intro.
My intro is
Thanks,
copyright.
Mark. Not yours, but like the Knights of the Crypto, like bum bum. Like the Game of Thrones intro song.
Oh, I didn't do that one. I did my like EDM one.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. All right, bros.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys still want to hear all these degens, I'm out. But
Yeah.
it's been real, homies.
I'll green
Yeah,
room
we-
this shit, man.
We
Peace.
could cut it here.
Let's end it.
But yeah. Cool. See you guys.
Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.